Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Upgrade your membership to gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nuss Flush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Kengan. Kenny Kengan wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Corey Coker. Kenny Can Smoke and Mirrors. Director 97 home. That is why here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado custodian. Billy Friedrich. Joe's one all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the corporate Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a dawn. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio is all. There's a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this but they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, betting with the bag and you love it. We want a top 10, we above it. Let's check.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, July 9th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We have action afoot. I know a lot of you guys are hammering Wimbledon right now, but it is camp day in the WNBA, and we got Briz Marquis ready to jump on right now and lead us to the bag in the first game. Tip off in 8 minutes. So without further ado, please welcome to the show from South Jersey, our guy, Billy Brisbane. Oh, sorry, my bad. I wasn't sure if Jose was rock with us because he's double duty. Our friend Jose doing double duty right now. Brizzy, how are you, my man?
Doing good, doing good. Shouts to everybody out there in the chat. Got a little bit of Wimbledon on, but got the Golden State Valkyries Indiana Fever under 164.5. If you guys want to get that in there, you could shop around for the best odds, but I ended up taking a minus 115 on the full game under here. I kind of lean towards more team total, but I'm just going to go with a little bit more safer route. We'll get into it though.
Let's get into it. Great stuff. So we have 7 minutes under 164. Our first game on camp day. I know a lot of cappers see an 11 a.m. start. They think college basketball slow moving, but it's camp day. And these games aren't slow moving. That first quarter soared over. That first quarter was listed at 38.5. It soared over. And this game is soaring over the early game right now. Let's set this one up again. 6 minutes till tip-off. We got Justin McKelvey on the Valkyries first half, and he's on the under as well. We got Wine Time Sports in the chat ready to get to work too. We're going to give you guys all shout-outs here shortly, but let's talk about this spot. Touch on Caitlin Clark's return. Let's touch on this line history. We have right now Indiana, a big move towards Golden State, the star player returning situation. The problem with me, the reason why I'm not already on the Valkyries fading the star player returning is just because the Fever are coming off of a loss. They are coming off of an ugly loss at home. I'll let you touch on that stuff, but the Fever have gone from minus 8.5 down to minus 7. 1.5 point move towards the Valkyries. This total is a 164.5 right now. It opened up at 164. It climbed up to 166.5 before it started dropping, and it has. Now, it did get down to 164. It's come up a half point since then. When we go to the board for cash flow information, we have it. 69% of the tickets and 95% of the cash is on Golden State. 58% of the tickets are on the over, but 73% of cash is on the under. Brizzy, touch on the return of the superstar Caitlin Clark. Touch on the Fever coming off the loss. The loss didn't happen when most cappers would expect it after winning the Commissioner's Cup. And touch on the Valkyries in the throes of this road trip.
Yeah, with Clark being ruled back into this game, this total moved from 160.5 to 165.5, and then it went to its high water mark at 166.5, then back down. I have my doubts, though, about this total going over, though. I feel like Caitlin Clark demands a high usage rating, and throwing her back in the lineup versus a Golden State team that did a really good job of defending her. And that was one of her last games before she went out. I mean, she went 3-for-14 with 11 points. And then Golden State, on the other hand, I mean, they're the fourth lowest scoring team in the WNBA. I mean, the Fever have quietly been one of the better defensive teams in the WNBA in the last couple of weeks. Now ranking 5th for the season. Golden State, number 3 defensive rating team in the WNBA. I think there's a lot of ways the under can cash in this one here.
I like it. I'm going to let this one go. I'm just so snake bit in the WNBA. Yesterday, Brizzy had Ionescu over her points. I had Ionescu over her threes. She went 1 for 9, even though she put up 25. And then I had the over 165.5, and it landed on 165. Watching Stewie miss those foul shots at the end of the game was made me want to throw something. So I will cheer you guys on. Those of you asking about MLB, we're going to get here soon, but we have action going on right now. Tip off for Valkyries Fever is in 4 minutes, and our guy Brizzy has moved on the under 164.5. I'm ready to live attack this card. I'm ready to live attack it, so we'll see how this bangs out early.
Live attacking wise, I think the play would be something on the Fever after the first half. First half wise, the Fever have had good first half numbers, but if there was a team that had better first half numbers, it would be the Golden State Valkyries. So this could easily be a 1 to 2 point game at halftime, kind of allowing us to get into a live play because you talk about the money being in on the Golden State Valkyries. I mean, the bookies are moving the number on the Indiana Fever money line all the way up to minus 340 from minus 300 from like an hour ago. Line up to 7. moved from 6.5, and that's with all the money coming in here on Golden State. It feels like a spot where the bookies are kind of welcoming in Golden State's money. People have a little bit of recency bias on how Golden State's been cashing for them. It's kind of like a flip the script spot. I think the Indiana Fever handle business, but if they don't, I think there's multiple ways you could cash the under. But if you don't like the under, I would even go team total under. Sometimes that you see with the WNBA favorites, like yesterday's a prime example of like the Mystics. With some of these big favorites, like the game will go flirt with the total, but the team total will just go under. Of like the Mystics team total was just way too inflated yesterday, where it was like 85.5, closed at 83.5. And I mean, it hovered right around it. I mean, it just skipped over overtime. But I think that's the way to attack these kind of spots is hitting the under on these camp day games. But I think that the first game, the Connecticut Sun are so fucking bad, I just can't bet in total in their game.
Well, I thankfully was like, look, your first year fully capping WNBA, I'm going to. I don't know the nuances of camp day, because my first thought was it's 11 a.m. start, just like we do in college basketball, and I was like, no, it's camp day. I was like, just focus on
camp days for the underdogs. That might have been one of your 2 WNBA bets last year. Was us cashing on the Dallas Wings last year against the Lynx on camp day.
I remember, but here I felt a little different about, the Storm closing out this road trip. And we're going to talk about a team with the Lynx starting a road trip, but the Storm closing out a road trip. And then these teams meeting again in 2 days. I was like, you know what? Things aren't going well. And it's costing me money. And I'm not going to give up. What we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next game. But also, much like when Tyrese Halliburton got hurt in Game 7, the models, when you're live betting, have no ability to account immediately for the importance of a star player going down. Asia Wilson went down yesterday. Aces had a quick bump for 5-6 minutes. Live betting the Liberty on the money line minus 115 was very, very, very easy, and it did take care of the night. AM on the Fever minus 7. Okay, so let's move on, Brizzy, my man, to Game 2. So this one's at 3:30 p.m. There's just 2 more games that we're going to be talking about with our guy Brizzy. And then we'll move on to MLB with Wine Time and Jose. We have Lynx, Mercury, and the Minnesota Lynx just finished a very long homestand that culminated 8 days ago in a loss. Well, the peak of the homestand was the loss to the Fever. They followed that up with the wins over the Mystics 92-75, Golden State 82-71, and on Sunday they beat the Sky in pretty ugly fashion 82-75. So this begins a 4-game road trip. This also is the first of a back-to-back. Very tricky situation for the Minnesota Lynx. For the Phoenix Mercury, is this Dewana Bonner's first game?
We'll see if Dewana Bonner's more interested about playing mom or playing basketball.
Okay, all right. Julian, it's great to have you back in business. Fernando Mendoza took the under, and AM says Fever revenge for that straight-up loss at Golden State. This game's at 3:30 p.m. here. 3:30 p.m. We have the Mercury bouncing back off of a loss at home to Las Vegas. They went to Dallas and lost by 9, and then they came home and destroyed Dallas on Monday. So let's see if Brizzy thinks Mercury are in business here. This is just a one-off, but then they have 5 days off. So the Lynx have beginning of a back-to-back. The Mercury have 5 days off after this when they head out to Golden State. So let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have this total here at 160.5 minus 112 to the over. This opened up at 161. We've had a half-point move to the under. And then on the spread, we have Phoenix plus 7. This is moved. This opened up at 7, and this opened up this morning at 7:56 a.m. at 7. Now, I know other books started this earlier, but this opened up at 7. Immediately went 6.5. Took 5 minutes to get 6.5. Then it came back. It's bounced back and forth from 6.5. But the interesting thing is at 9 a.m., it gets up to 7.5. And now we are at 7. It is juiced towards the Mercury. And when we take a look at the cash flow for this one, we have 53% of the tickets, 54% of the cash on Phoenix, 72% of tickets, and 72% of cash on the under. Brizzy, take it away. Game 2 on our schedule, Game 3 on the WNBA schedule. Minnesota Lynx at Phoenix Mercury at 3:30 p.m. this afternoon.
Yeah, the Mercury were dwelling in that loss versus the Wings, and they did what you would expect from them, and they smashed and grabbed the Dallas Wings. But I think this matchup is going to be a little bit different. I think they're going to feel the effects of not having Kalea Copper and Satu Salabi out of the lineup, and I don't think that Sammy Whitcomb goes for 20-plus points in the first half like she did in the last game for the Mercury. I thought all their role players stepped up, but it was one of those type of games where they just had multiple days to prepare for one of the worst teams in the WNBA, and that's exactly what happened. By principle, you kind of want to lean to the Mercury +7 at the crib, but fuck, this just feels like a potential blowout waiting to happen here. Minnesota 2-0 straight up in both meetings, 1-1 ATS in those games, but the last game that they played against each other, they won by 19 points. They've held opponents to 75 points or less, 9 out of 12 games. Offensively, 82 or less in 5 of their last 8 games. I think the only way that you could really look in this game is really the under, but it might have to be like a live under here. The total in this game is kind of just irrelevant, like looking at the line movement, because it opened up 156.5, but went up to 160.5, so it shot way up. So I don't know how I don't think people are really betting the total in this game. I feel like people are really betting the spread in this game. So it kind of makes like the line history a little bit irrelevant for the total, but I like the under here. Like a lot of things tell me that this game is going to go under, but I'm just going to stay off of this one. It seems like a perfect live betting spot where if you can catch the Lynx within 1 or 2 possessions, so anywhere between money line through 3.5, I take the Lynx live. I think the Mercury are going to get smoked in this one.
Interesting. Am says Mercury have revenge, but I'm not a big fan of revenging those 30-plus days out. I agree with that, Am. The longer, the less it means. And JW on the Lynx first quarter, which I think is an appealing live opportunity. If JW cashes that Lynx first quarter, we know the Lynx are on the first half of a back-to-back, so they'll start caring about that rotation. Do you think that could be in play? Let's say Lynx are up 7 points at the end of one. At that point, I know you don't like to flip sides, but
I wouldn't really be interested more in a live betting spot rather than just slamming the over when Minnesota plays the Sparks tomorrow. That's also going to be a Camp Day game, 3:00 LA early start. I think that could be one of those type of spots. I mean, Napisha Collier went off for like 20-something points in their first meeting in the first quarter against the Sparks, and that game went way over. I think that was one of their highest totals that they scored this season was the Lynx against the Sparks. So I like the over in the game.
But nothing official here. Oh, you mean you like the over for tomorrow night's game?
For tomorrow, tomorrow's Camp Day games at 3:00 p.m. I would probably bet that by the end of tonight.
Let's roll into our final WNBA spot, the lone night game on the card. Dallas Wings at Chicago Sky. We're at Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois. Let's get this one all set up. Low scoring start here in Fever Valkyries. We'll keep a close eye on everything that's happening there. And of course, I know you guys are live betting Wimbledon. We're going to give the what ups here in a quick minute. We're going to cap our last WNBA game with Briz Marquis. We have the Aces coming off the 87-78 loss last night at the Liberty. So this is their third game in 4 nights with constant travel. Very tricky situation, despite. And also, of course, Asia Wilson going down with injury. I
think the biggest question in this game is Camila Cardoso.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the Aces. Jesus, what the hell's wrong with me?
Camila Cardoso was out the last game, but that tournament finished Sunday, Monday. That road game, that was a road game in Washington. Was she already in Chicago waiting to play back, or is she going to play? There's a lot of questions in this game because I think if Camila's back, you don't fire her off on Angel Reese-Browns.
And my fault. I don't know what the hell I was reading off there. I was tripping out for Wing Sky tonight. So thank you mentioning the Cardoso situation and her importance in the lane. So sorry, the Wings are coming off the back-to-back games against the Mercury. We talked about that in the breakdown with the Mercury. So they played on Monday night. Again, I was talking to everybody about the idea of fading Las Vegas in Washington, but that was, of course, we'll get into that tomorrow. So here we go. It is a quick 12-6 lead for the Fever, too. Some quick points coming in that game. Here with the Chicago Sky, they've lost 2 straight. They've lost 3 of 4. That was a 4-game road trip that just ended last night. Ended last night. So, sorry, they're in the 3rd game in 4 nights with constant travel. The Wings coming off losing by 30. I mean, it's hard not to find the Wings appealing here. We got Spooner putting in his action. I'm going to copy and paste everything. We're going to be moving on to a Major League Baseball here shortly. The Chicago Sky opened up -1.5. They're now -1, but the -1's juiced. It's basically no move. From a total perspective here, we have a 166.5 -112 to the under. This opened up 165.5. And we get to the cash flow here in our final spot on the board. We have 84% of tickets, 80% of cash on Chicago, 55 and 62 on the over. Brizzy, I know you set it up as to why this is happening, but I find it difficult not to get on the Wings here with the Sky on the second half back-to-back after a really tough game and constant travel. So take it away, my man.
Yeah, I like Dallas in this spot, but not in a comparison of players, but comparison of betting situations. I think I'm just gonna have to put Dallas Wings in that like Charlotte Hornets category where like you want to play LaMelo Ball props and shit like that. Maybe just playing the LaMelo Ball props is better than betting the fucking Hornets. And that's what it came down to for a lot of those Hornets games. And that's how I kind of feel with the Dallas Wings is like, I think Paige fucking wrecks in this game. I don't know if Paige wrecking makes them win in the game, though, because I think the biggest advantage that the Sky have over the Lynx is really inside the paint. I remember Camila Cardoza fucking fried their interior in that one game that she did play against him. It's one of those type of situations where, like, I want to say Dallas, but I'm probably just get to the window with Paige Becker props. Points and assists are sitting at points and assists for Paige Becker is 24.5. I kind of like the assist prop at 5.5, rebounds and assists 9.5. I'll probably tweet out one I'll be on for Dallas Wings Chicago Sky game, but this is a prop market game. If Camila Cardoza is in the game, then I would probably take some Angel Reese unders, a little bit of money on that. Or if Camila is out, then I think you keep on riding the Angel Reese train here. Maybe Angel Reese's assist prop if Camila is in the game. But this is a prop market game. And I like the over in this game. I like the over 166.5. You got Chicago coming in off that quick little game against the Mystics yesterday. That game barely soared under the total by like maybe a point, depending on where you got it. Opened up 161, finished at 160, closed at 159. I think this game is an over bonanza here. You take the over in this game, you take player props in this one. I think this is going to be the highest scoring game in the card today.
I find it so difficult not to move on Dallas. I can't. I know that we've only seen the Sky at home 6 times, but I don't know how they're not just exhausted. And I want to attack it. JW says Wings are terrible without their 2 best guards. No perimeter defense. Well,
wouldn't really say exhausted, though, because Angel Reese played 35 minutes. Ariel Atkins played 35 minutes. Elizabeth Williams played 30 minutes. Nobody else cracked 25. I mean, Rachel Bannon, gives a fuck about Rachel Bannon. She played 24 minutes. I mean, they didn't like really go crazy on the minutes at all. Like he and her.
I feel that, but they played at the Lynx and played them tough on Sunday. And on Monday, they flew to Washington. On Tuesday, they played Washington. After the game, they left and flew to Chicago, and it's game day.
Yeah, but my fear is maybe the people on the bench, like Haley Van Lith only played 3 minutes yesterday. She'll probably play more minutes today. Camila Cardoza might be in the lineup. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like maybe the people that the Sky are not, but that are going to be playing the second half of back-to-back, maybe better than players that they're playing. One of those type of situations, like the Connecticut Suns of one of those teams, like People off the bench are playing better than the starters. What are you guys doing in these games?
No, I hear that. I hear that. I just and look, I'm being a mess this year in WNBA. I started fine, and then I've just fallen apart last couple weeks. But I'm going to be looking at the Wings and the Wings team total over. AM says I kind of think Wings come in rested. I mean, they had to stop trying in that blowout loss. Meanwhile, Sky coming up hard fought tight game loss. I'm with that whole idea. I think the Sky are tired. Maybe not. A very interesting angle that Brizzy bringing up about. The Sky's bench players are as strong or stronger than their starters, and getting more playing time will only help them.
Yeah, because you have to play the other side for Dallas. Noah Rike and Gumbawale in the lineup. They're starting 2 rookies. Granted, their 2 rookies have played fucking amazing in JJ Quirley and Elijah James. If you've been hitting their overs on their player props, I mean, they've been easy cashes, no sweats. And, I mean, they're people that were coming off the bench. Now they're playing 25, 30-something minutes. I mean, that's the reason why they lost that game against the Mercury. It was too many minutes.
Well, I've got lots to think about here. We're going to have Brizzy possibly tweeting out action in the final game. In this first game, though, he's on the under 164.5 in Fever Valkyries. Storm Sun, 55-52. It's tight there as well. Brizzy, thank you for rocking with us early and attacking the card with us, my man. I know there's so much else going on. I know you got Wimbledon action. I did get talked into a future on Shelton, which is obviously, just a, lottery ticket type situation. So I am kind of keeping an eye on it, although I fear the worst. Is there anything else you want to touch on? The NBA Summer League, anything you want to touch on before we roll into baseball? Is there any baseball action? Anything you want to talk about, my man?
Shelton might be fucked. He just dropped that break point there. But make sure you guys check out Locker Room Talk Podcast, UFC Nashville going up this week. Got a big card this weekend and Cage Warriors action. So make sure you follow me over at Getting Bills, tweeting everything out for this week. And NBA Summer League pops off Thursday back in Vegas. Real tournament games. Should be a very fun Summer League. I feel like a lot of these NBA teams are saying, fuck it. If we're not in the playoffs, we're throwing these guys in there. Like, we're watching G.G. Jackson play 3 years in the Summer League. They don't give a fuck. I mean, the Utah Jazz, they said, fuck it. We might be the worst team in the league, but we're going to win these Summer League games, though. And, I think it kind of creates a great scenario for sports bettors where you kind of fade the public notion of, like, some of these good regular season NBA teams. And it's usually, like, the shitty teams in the Summer League that are, like, winning.
I love it. Before you go, we need to hear about the huge Locker Room Talk podcast episode up right now for UFC 317. You talked about all of the mixed martial arts action in front of you this weekend, but do touch on UFC 317 in our live stream on Saturday.
Yeah, big live stream this weekend. We got Millie Mills in the locker room with Mike Davis. I think he's like one of the biggest favorites of the whole entire card. Derek Lewis in the main event against Taliesin Teixeira. It's a great episode. You can kind of see where we're kind of leaning for some of these parlays and stuff like that. And you kind of see where we're leaning for some of these underdog picks. I believe out of the 12 to 13 fights, I would say 8 to 9 of them are minus 300 or more. So you really got to tap in this week and really do some tape study and hit these method of victories on these fights.
Brizzy, I love it, man. Thank you so much for rocking with us, making time for us. Please support Brizzy, support the Locker Room Talk podcast and everything that we have Brizzy starring in here on the channel. So respect, my man. Thank you for all that you do. Any last words for the Capper supporting the show before we get into MLB?
Yeah, make sure you guys get that cash today. Shouts to Wine Time and Spoons. A little bit of a switch up today, so hopefully I didn't talk for too long.
Oh, you're the man, Brizzy. You're the man. Thank you. There he is, our guy, Billy Brisbane, getting bills. Now we talk Major League Baseball. I can't wait to discuss it. It was such a roller coaster ride yesterday. The Orioles up 4 runs and needing 5 outs was extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating. Losing the Pirates game late was extremely frustrating. All I needed was one of them, just one of them to cash. And I would have been in the black. But, it is what it is. 15 bets. I invested a lot of money into it. It was not good enough. I pushed with the Rays. I lose the Dodgers-Milwaukee first 5 over. I lose the Dodgers-Milwaukee full game over 8.5. I cash Pittsburgh-KC first 3 under 2.5. I cash Pittsburgh-KC under 8. I pushed San Diego -1. I cash Arizona, San Diego first 3 under 2 at +108. Lose Baltimore +111. Cash the Marlins +108. Lose Pirates +122. Lose Washington, St. Louis first 3 under 2.5. Although I did get in live on St. Louis +1.5 -135 down 2-0, which helps take some of that sting away. I lose Cleveland, Houston first 3 under 2. You know, the market, we saw the market bullish on a couple spots. And the most bullish the market was, of course, just talking movement alone, was the Red Sox Cardinals. The surprise was that the market was not bullish at all on Houston, and that line wasn't moving despite all the money on Houston. Hunter Brown pitching. And again, you know, as Jose messaged me last night, the market knows best. Fortunately, that was the only $250 that I lost on that game. Texas, LA, I ended up betting the over 8. And I blame all of the children that were in the house yesterday. Look, it cashed. I meant to bet the first 5 over. And then the next thing I know, I'm on the full game over 8. I thought that was going to blow up in my face. It didn't, fortunately. Philadelphia, San Francisco over 8, a lost. You know, if the outfield had handled that Bailey inside the park homer a little better, but it was Romano getting taken to the cleaners again. It was, and then the Red Sox Cardinals parlay at +103 cashed, and this has been happening for me here, where there's 3 possible spots. I try to cut it down to 2, and on these, like, you know, the cash cow type situations, and cutting it down to 2. The last 2 times I've been in a situation, instead of taking all 3 for a bigger score, has cashed for me. And if I had to use 3, it wouldn't have. So overall, 6 and 7 down 1.74 units. It's not good enough. Overall in the season, my record will come up here in a second. Let's welcome on the star of Wednesdays here. He's been absolutely destroying here on our show. And, you know, he's been even better off of our show. On our show here, a 95 and 81, hitting at 54%, plus 12.97 units, ROI plus 7.37%, average line plus 100. Very impressive. It's not using the best line available. And also, if you are following him on X, he's up over 30 units on the season. He's delivering. He's a class act, man, and our friend. Please welcome from Los Angeles, California, Mr. Wine Time Sports. Wine Time, what's good, man? How are you?
Jimmy the Bag, happy Wednesday, my friend. Yeah, man, it's been a killer last couple of weeks with the books. We had a nice little 3-and-3 day yesterday, slight units, but yeah, I was on that Orioles spot with you, man, and seeing them crumble late and give up that 4-run lead was a little bit of a stab.
Flashbacks.
It was rough, man, but you know what? So we found value. Yes,
but the swing, like, it's such a big swing. That's what, you know, you're like, oh, take the L. It's just that the swing from winning that bet at plus money to losing that bet, like, it's just, you know, it's a big swing. It's a giant swing. And I had the Pirates, same thing happened to the Pirates. And I remember saying on the show, I was like, you know, I'm not going to have the Pirates. I'm so confident but I was like, no, the market is forcing me to bet the Pirates. And then I felt good about it until the best bullpen in baseball over the last 30 days buckled. So that is the situation here from yesterday, and I cannot wait to rock with all of you guys here today. Shout out to all of you. Occupancy back in business. Been great to have him back. Member of Wee Wee Pub. We got stacks number 1 and 2 here. It is New York Mets and Luis Arraez. Arraez hit that home run. You know, when Arraez hit that home run, it looks like he'd hit 20 this year. It just soared immediately off the bat. He looked like he'd done it before. That was just his 5th home run. And thank God for that home run. That game, I'm really excited about talking about. In fact, the Padres game today. We got Gorky in the house. He's on Kaboli. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Money line. That action is on right now, and they're in a tiebreak. It looks as if Sinner's going to win this 3-0 over Shelton. But again, that's my first tennis bet in like 9 years, 10 years. I had a horrific tennis gambling situation, and I was like, what am I doing? You know, and I was like, I'll never do it again. And here I have my first bet in 10 years. But
I've got a buddy, Jimmy, that's been like hammering these. He's throwing $600 down on these tennis bets. I'm like, oh, what are you doing, my man? And he bet Sinner live when he was down 2 rounds. What was it, 2 days ago? And that guy ended up getting hurt.
Saved by the injury.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, when he was down 2-0, he got him at plus money. He got him at plus 105 when he was down 2-0. And he's like, I mean, why is he plus 105 down 2-0? And I was like, he's probably going to come back. And then that other guy ends up tearing, I think, his pec. And that just sucks, man. To be in that guy's position, being up 2-0 against the number one tennis player, and an injury gets you. I was watching that, and I was just like, this is crazy right here. Like, shout out to everyone betting the tennis right now. I wish I knew more about it. I haven't placed anything in these tennis games, but I did play something in the WNBA. I'm on the Fever -7, -110. All I needed to hear was that Caitlin Clark was back, I think. And I think you mentioned too, Jimmy, they were coming off a loss. Yeah. So I was on the I'm on the Fever here in this spot. I'm not sure what the score is right now, but I don't make a lot of WNBA bets either. And it wasn't a full unit bet. It was a half unit bet, but still, we've got some money on the line here this morning. Wanted to join you guys on some of that early action. But Jimmy, I'm excited to break down this card with you. I texted you last night. It's probably like 3 a.m. Over there in Toronto, but sorry for the late text. But broke down this card. I've got 6 beautiful games that we almost destroyed the line movement on all of them except one, I believe, right now. So I'm looking forward to getting into this with you. Let's get to it, my guy.
I'm looking forward to it too. I'm just going to grab a few more bets here from the cappers in the chat. We thank you guys so much for joining us. We have nothing without you guys, and I need to know, because for me, the most important 2 hours now, and this was never the case, and it's really only the case in baseball, but the most important 2 hours of the day is after the show. When I sit with all these notes and I sit there for 2 hours and I close the door and I take deep breaths and I fucking fire away at all these.
I feel you.
Man. Lex Steele in the house. Great to see you. Lex Scott on the Mets and the Phillies. Gorky on the Blue Jays. You know, I certainly feel like an ass clown watching everybody make money off the Blue Jays except for me. Now, I didn't take Savali first 3 plus a half, but it's game after game for me where I'm like, God, these White Sox pitchers, Adrian Hauser, I love him. Like, this is a guy who would have a 6 ERA on the road and a 2 ERA at home, and he was so predictable and he made us money. And so I'm trying not to let that hit me too much. Kevin Hawthorne in the house. What up, Kev? Says good morning from Lakeland, Florida in the house. We got 2 more bets here from Scott. We got Jermaine ready to get to work. Let's get all of this copied and pasted here. Get it over here. Also, let us know. I think there was a chance for me to probably get in on that under with you guys live. There was a chance when it got up to 173.5. I probably should have thought about that. I do have some interest in moving on that under with you guys. So let me know if it gets back, if that live number gets back over 168.5 here for this one. So let's just copy and paste a few more things. We got Mizorowski got Fernando Mendoza 6Ks. Yes, he got 12 of them. What a monster. I know we have a lot of Cubbies backers in the house, but that Brew Crew. Now, I wish there was chances to get it much higher, but I got plus 280 to win the division at the beginning of the year. And I got 400 on it. I got 500 on them over 83.5. So that will cover. So that will give the 400 free roll on the division, which obviously the Cubs are a very, very good baseball team. Little Domo in the house. We got Trip Carroll ready to get to work. Great to see all of you guys. Thank you for rocking with us. Let me make sure I got everybody's action. Ronnie Lofton, Slow Jams, Arsenal, a JM ready to go. We got Irish King, Top Set. Great to see you guys. AM, Julian, Cesario, MLG, Beavis, the Sly One ready to eat here. TJ Dallas, Keuchel to sign a minor league deal with the Royals. The Keuchel. I see Julian Cesario experience. All I think of it. How about the Keuchel experience? And a lot of people a lot of money. Thank you guys for rocking with us. JM ready to go. I hope he's back from his nap that the WNBA created for him. Spooner ready to eat. We got Eldorado custodian Jason Meyer. Let me make sure I've got everything. Billy Friedrich, we got Pig Milk play of the day in business. White Sox first 5 plus a half. God, everybody getting messages like, just curious, why are you not cashing on the Blue Jays every day with us? Spooner is cashing on the Blue Jays every day. He's on them again today, -1, -108. He took the team total route yesterday and cashed that very easily. Shout out to Morgan Spooner. We got Kelly McInnes ready to go. Thank you guys for joining us. I think we got DC Capper ready to eat. Nunya back in business, the winner of our Cappers contest in NFL last year. Nunya in the house. Big Daddy Boom. Kong's Clips smash play of the week is Steve Garcia moneyline minus 120. Let's get this right here. And I think we are ready to rock. So thank you guys all for joining. Oh, what a day yesterday. I was thinking about you, TJ. That athletics double up was a thing of absolute beauty right off the hop. AM saying White Sox living live is hell. Oh, good thing. A good thing I kept rolling. Ron Crawford, we got spreadsheet play of the day here, is on the Cincinnati Reds. Felt good seeing Nick Martinez get touched up yesterday. Dodgers team total over 4.5 for Noel. Got that copied and pasted here. Let's go. Okay. Great to see everybody. Oh, the over 8.5 for Jermaine in Milwaukee. And Milwaukee. Oh, Robert Franklin meaning the under? Sorry, I'll stay on that. Troy Torrance, Dodgers first 5 money line parlay and -1. Go get some Dodgers, says Troy Torrance. Let me make sure I got everybody's action here. I love it. Great to see all you guys. Cags here. Kelly McKinnis back down to 164.5. Okay, I'm ready to bounce off that. We got Von Polo in the house, who you'll be seeing a lot more of here on this channel. And it's great to see all of you guys. Kyle Mazzetto says, I'm on Adrian Hauser under 3.5 Ks. Toronto leads the league in least amount of strikeouts per game last 3 games. Toronto is 3.62 team total of strikeouts. Let me get all of this. Oh, sorry, Von Polo. I will get you today. It's a lot going on. After the show tomorrow, I head to Vancouver, my hometown. I haven't been there in a long time, so I just a little overwhelmed here. So, but I will get you. I'll get you. I promise I will get you. We got Just My 2 Cents, Christopher Carter. Great to see all of you guys here. So, and let's see from Big O says, what up, guys? My dream trip starts tomorrow en route to Royal Portrush for the Open. Boots on the ground, round 1 next week. Wow. That is exciting. The Open, the final major there. Scottish Open is, I guess, this week. And then that's exciting, man. What a trip, Big O. Please keep us in the loop. If you can send us pictures and stuff, that would be great. Kelly says, any layover in Calgary? No. Sadly, no, Kelly. But I got Calgary in my future. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Mally Mal says this game is going – the Dodgers game going way over. Seattle Storm only up 6 right now to the Connecticut Sun. Again, these guys play in 2 days, but it's time to focus on the diamond, my friend. We start at 2:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the LA Dodgers 56-37, 23-20 on the road. The Milwaukee Brewers 52-40, 29-17 at home. We're at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we have Tyler Glasnow. Yeah, nice. In the Canadian Air Force, JW, that sounds I imagine, JW, that it was a number 5 orange, I believe, because that is the horrifying strip club where anything goes, and it's the place that you drink at. Now, again, I haven't been to Vancouver in a long time, but that's my guess. My guess, JW, was that was number 5 orange in Vancouver. Tyler Glasnow has been gone for a long time, and let's start with the breakdown of Glasnow, and then we'll go into everything else. But let's start with the Glasnow breakdown. So I can't help, but I've told you guys, a pitcher shines in his rehab starts. I don't care. And now when I see a pitcher get lit up and smoked, I think, God, he should probably be backed. I mean, even Montas, after having the worst rehab so bad that they didn't know whether they wanted to start him, he was excellent in his first game. And here you have a horrible set of rehab starts. 3 rehab starts for Glasnow. His last one, 4 1/3, 78 pitches. Overall, though, he had an 8.31 ERA in 3 starts, 2.08 WHIP. Only in 8 2/3, he struck out 12 and he walked 5. Tell me about your thoughts on Glasnow's rehab, and does it play any effect in? Is it affected all your belief in him in a positive or negative way? Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Tyler Glasnow deliver at the highest level for the Atlanta Braves when he's at his peak. I know he's missed some time. That was part of the reason why I didn't move on this game here in this spot. Got Jose Quintana on the other mound. And the Milwaukee Brewers, Jim, I mean, this team is playing some really good baseball right now. As far as Tyler Glasnow, I still think he's got good stuff. I think he's gonna need some time to still work back in. The Dodgers, I mean, they're way ahead right now. They've got nothing to really worry about. Ease him in. I'm not sure how long we'll see Glasnow go in this matchup. Remind me, Dodgers, have they lost 5 in a row now? I think
They have.
after, yeah, and Jose Quintana on the other mound. I mean, you don't want to face the Milwaukee Brewers right now, guys. I mean, currently sitting, we're seeing the Milwaukee Brewers 52-40. It's crazy. Every single season, this is one of the teams that I don't have high hopes for by any means. I look at this roster and I'm like, how are they going to get to the playoffs every single year? They get there every single year, it seems like, with the personnel that they have. Don't get me wrong. They got some talent in that lineup. They got some good pitching. And Jose Quintana, he's having a good season this year as well. Going into this game, though, I don't want to bet on a Glasnow start here. I need to see more of him. How many games has he started this season? Is this his second game?
No, Glasnow had 18 innings, 4.50 ERA. I know that on the road he had 2 starts for 6 innings, so I imagine he had at least 3 starts at home. He didn't look very good. Lefties were hitting him very hard, 286, 933 OPS. He walked 11 batters in those 18 innings. He walked 6 batters in 6 road innings, and here he is on the road against Jose Quintana. Now, these splits for Glasnow were wild in those 5 starts. I believe it was 5 starts. 286, 933 versus lefties. Righties, 067, 389. So we need to get into that right now. Let's pull up the lineups. We're going to have official lineups here as well. Confirmed lineups. So let's get into the lineups, and then we're going to talk about Quintana. And as the Dodgers bullpen has struggled, and they're hitting against righties has struggled a little bit, their ability to hit lefties has not struggled. They're still hitting lefties hard, but we do not have a Dodgers expected lineup, unfortunately. But we do have the Brewers lineup, so we can talk about Glasnow's inability to get lefties out. Frelick will be leading off, but then you have Contreras and Churio. Yelich, a lefty, will be batting 4th. Collins will be hitting from the left side, batting 5th. Turang, a lefty, batting 6th, and Jake Bauers, a lefty, batting 8th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5 lefties. It's too bad they don't have more against Glasnow. We don't have the confirmed Dodgers lineup. So let's talk about Quintana, set up the line history and cash flow, and see if we have a man, if our man moves on this. Irish King on Milwaukee money line. Beavis leaning towards Milwaukee. Chris Warren asking about Yelich home run, if that's a move. JW is on Dodgers and the over. TJ says, hard to fade the Dodgers offense here. Not sure what to do with Glasnow. Dodgers got 4 off Framber, 5 off Gore, 3 off Peterson, 6 off Fried, 5 off Cameron. Some good starters there getting to. Yes, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. This team is hitting lefties hard. 260, 780 OPS. Interestingly enough, it's not as hard as the Brewers. The Brewers are 288, 785 OPS. Where is the biggest advantage in this game? It has to be the bullpen. What we saw yesterday from the Brewers bullpen, average fastball at 99.1 miles per hour. That's the fastest average fastball by a bullpen in a game in the StatCast era. This team is for real. Now, I know the Cubs are stacked, but this Brewers team is for real. And they're in the rearview mirror right now. And they're ready to fucking party. The bullpen advantage, 2.5 runs less. The Brewers have allowed over 9 innings than the Dodgers over the last 30 days. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow and see if there's a move to make. Again, lots of time before this. We have an hour and 34 minutes before first pitch. It goes as long at the same time as the Jays, White Sox. We have the Dodgers right now minus 160. They open at minus 155, 5 cents of movement towards them. From a total standpoint here, we have an 8.5, minus 116 to the over. This did get up to 9 at 10:38 a.m. It opened as a pick 'em at 8.5, got up to 9, and then it came back. We have heard Troy Torrance, who is bullish here on the Dodgers, talking about the line move towards them on the first 5. So we know just 5 cents on the full game. Let's go to the first 5. This is a very expensive first 5. Interesting.
Oh my God, yeah.
Very expensive. There's been, at where we used to play poker, a 30-cent move to the Dodgers first 5. So that says the market is saying that there is a big advantage at starting pitcher between Glasnow and Quintana. Quintana 6-3, 3.44 ERA, 1.39 WHIP. His last start, he allowed 3 earned runs in a 3-2 loss at the Mets over 5 1/3, 3 Ks and no walks. At home this year, he's been hit hard. 17 earned runs in 5 starts, 292 opponents batting average, and lefties hit him very hard. And there's 2 lefties early in that Dodgers lineup in Ohtani and Freddie Freeman. So very and Troy saying, look at that first 5 line movement. That's big. I'm curious to see the difference here. I'd like to see the difference here over at 365, the price difference for the first 5 and the full game. The full game here is at minus 165, and the first 5 is minus 185, 20-cent difference. I see it up to minus 200 at some books. So I tend to think that we should probably trust Glass now, and we should probably be on the Dodgers first 5 minus a half. What are your thoughts here, One Time?
It's going to end up keeping me off this game, Jim. Yeah, I didn't even look at the first 5 going into this right now. Seeing the Dodgers minus 185 right now on the money line in the first 5 compared to their minus 155 I have right now. That's 30 cents difference, guys. That's telling you that Glasnow is going to go out there and deliver. But at the same time, it's just these are 2 teams that are playing opposite baseball these last 5 games. I mean, you mentioned the Brewers. They're just playing such good baseball, team baseball. It's so cool to see my guy Jake Bauers and Joey Ortiz hitting that in those last 2 spots. Grew up with Jake Bauers. Never met Joey Ortiz, but he went to a school on the pretty close to me. Shout out to them for the Orange County kids being in this lineup. And, doing with it. That was nice that we saw. I was talking smack on Joey Ortiz last Friday, Jim. He comes up and hits a grand slam for us. And we had no idea it was him until after the fact. I didn't care.
I knew it was his. I didn't want to throw, I wanted you to sit with it and then give us the rebuttal after all the tough
Shout out
talk.
to him, because if it wasn't for that grand slam, I don't know if we would have gotten that.
We do not cash that.
Because what did we cash it by, half run, I think?
Well, I paid for the 8. So it would have just sat on the push, but we got that late run to make it. Yeah.
Shout out to them, guys. But going into, Jose Quintana, it's crazy, Jim. You look at this. If you look at these 2 pitchers, maybe 4 years ago, what the line probably difference would have been in this situation. Glasnow would be well over a minus 220, 230 favorite. Here he's sitting only at a minus 155. But the Brewers are playing such good baseball, and this team is they're heading in the right direction right now, and you can't fade them, which means I'm not going to fade them here in this spot. I've only been backing the Brewers this year. I don't fade the Brewers. There's no way I'm going to do that, but I've been on them in spots this season where I feel like the market isn't reading them correctly, and we've gotten good value on them in certain situations this season. I think we will for the next couple months as well, but not in this game. Dodgers – They've lost 5 straight games, and they haven't been looking good. They have been hitting the ball, but the pitching hasn't looked good. I don't know if they're going to lose 6 straight games here. It's going to end up keeping me off this game, Jim. We've just got so much action today, but if I had a lean, I would probably lean towards the Brewers if I'm being honest here, but it's not enough conviction. It doesn't correlate enough for me. Looking at everything from the X's and O's standpoint and seeing the Dodgers, losing 5 straight, they want to get back to business here. They want to get back to their winning ways. So it's going to end up keeping me off this game, Jim. I don't want to bet in this game.
Well, I am going to move on this game, and I've not put any action in yet, but the Brewers are raking lefties. Glasnow, right-handed pitcher. It doesn't concern me. And also, we just keep seeing this. We keep seeing these pitchers with these horrible rehab starts. And remember last year, and this is just to push the point home because it's been in my head a lot. Remember last year, Blake Snell on his rehab starts, I think he allowed 1 hit over 16 innings. Like no one could touch him.
Then
in his first rehab start, he got lit up. Sorry, in his first major league start after rehab.
Yeah, I remember he got lit up that game. I remember that, yeah.
And I was like, look, it doesn't, like these guys who destroy in their rehab starts, or these guys, it's not a sign what's going to happen.
It's not at all.
Some people are working things out. And also, if you dominate your rehab starts, maybe you're a little too cocky when you get out there. When you're struggling in your rehab starts or you're working on certain things and you're a little uncomfortable, and maybe that's where you want a pitcher.
I could see that.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on this first 5 minus a half. Ronnie Loftus says fever game in at 166.5. There's Dabby Cab in the house. We got Big Daddy Boom, aka Leon, aka Mr. Know-It-All, with football action here. And AM is going to stay off of the spot. And here we go. Steve G, 20 days until NFL, 40 days until college football, 58 days until NHL.
I got to get to work.
There's a lot of work to do. But it's work that we love.
Oh, yeah.
And there have been years that I have not been succeeding in MLB, and I can't sleep. And it's summertime. I'm supposed to be happy. It's finally warm up here, and I can't sleep. So things are pretty good. Let's enjoy the moment, and let's prepare for these seasons that are coming. With fucking vengeance and take over.
We love this shit, man. That's why we do it, Jim, man. I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I love doing what we do, man. And just, I've been crazy busy these last couple weeks, last couple months, but it's all going to be worth it. I'm just so excited for the work to get put in, for the work to get done, and the results to show. The
results have shown. You have absolutely, let's, I don't like talking too much about it in the middle of it, just because the need to succeed is so real, but you are delivering the goods, and we're coming into the All-Star break. I always find the week before the All-Star break and the week after the All-Star break very difficult. So let's just focus on today's a brand new day. We're 0-0, and let's get this money right now. Shout out to our guy Justin McKelvey gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership, and Timmy Two Shoes getting it. Let's get to work. Thank you, Justin, my man. So let's roll into Toronto here at 2:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Toronto Blue Jays 54-38, 22-22 on the road at the White Sox 30-62, 19-26 at home. We're at Wright Field in Chicago, Illinois. Let's go over the weather here. We'll do what we've been doing, where we start with Swish, then we move over to Ballpark Pal. And shout out to Spoons, who sends me Ballpark Pal. Gotta just buy it. I just, you get a little caught up in all the action. It's so hard. It's so prepping is so difficult now with all the, games going on. It's not that the games are going on. It's that there's so many live opportunities that you have to take advantage of. And it's hard to stay focused on the work and not, stay solely focused on your own action. It's tricky. 79 Fahrenheit, feels like 81, 6.3 miles per hour to right field. It gets up to 8.9 miles per hour. So the wind gets stronger as the game goes on. We get to a Ballpark Pal for Wright Field. We have plus 2%. Now it's interesting. It's plus 20% home runs, minus 14% doubles and triples, and minus 2% singles. We have Eric Lauer and Adrian Hauser. These guys pitched on the same Brewers team a few years back that was making me money. Now they're journeyman pitchers that could be picked up for a cup of coffee. Troy Torrance got White Sox first 5 money line. White Sox first 5 plus a half, one of the top spots on the board. We also, we just dropped first 5 Dodgers just dropped by 15 cents. Wow.
Damn.
That is massive. Okay, that must be, it's not showing on my, let me see if I can get this.
Yeah, I'm trying to refresh mine right now.
I do see some books have dropped it heavily. Wow. The book that I talk about in Costa Rica,
15 cents for me.
Just moved at 13, and it's moved 17. It's moved 18 since 12:09 p.m. Wow. Thank you for that intel. I think that's okay. I only use that for the cash, TJ. I use a different site for the line movement, but that is interesting here. Beavis also on the White Sox first 5. Steve G says go Jays, and again, Pig Milk play today is the White Sox first 5 plus a half. So let's go into the line history here for this one. We'll start with we got first 5 up and everybody moving first 5. It's a real interesting line here for the first 5. This opened up again. This is the Costa Rican book, plus 100. Now it's minus 103. Where we used to play poker, it opened up at plus 120 at 7:15 a.m. It's now minus 105. 25-cent move. towards Hauser and the White Sox. Ah, God, that's tricky. Then from a full game standpoint, we have the White Sox plus 124. They opened up at plus 127. These have all been very short lines for the Blue Jays throughout this series and against the Angels.
Yeah.
When we go to the total here for this one, we have an 8 minus 109 to the under. This opened up at 8.5. It dropped down to 8. When it got down to 8 the first time was 5:46 a.m. By 7:20, it was back at 8.5. But now we're back to 8. And I want the first 3 under in this one. But I'm starting to think that you guys are on it. And I get what you guys are looking at here. Okay, so let's go to the cash flow for this spot as well. We have 80% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the Jays. 64% of tickets, 84% of cash on the under. I'm Mal agreeing with this under, first 3 under look. DC Kaproff, another monster day. Great to see it. And Justin McKelvey says Valkyries first half is an ATM machine. AM says the line really says the White Sox are live. Blue Jays 10-game winning streak, 22-22 on the road versus White Sox 4-6 last 10, 19-26 at home. Yeah, White Sox only plus 120. Nate Dogg is on the Jays run line here. Nate Dogg 420. And JW says White Sox plus 120, fading the Blue Jays here before they head to California. This is wild. Okay, so we've got the line history. We've got the cash flow. Let's talk about Eric Lowry. He's been spectacular. 4-1, a 2.65 ERA, 1.02 whip. Toby Lane says bet the house on Chicago. This is interesting. 51 innings, 51 Ks, 15 walks, 6 home runs. His last start, 4-3 extra inning win at home versus the Angels. He had another quality start, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk. On the road this year, he's been very good. 8 games in total, 4 starts. He's only allowed 9 earned runs. Opponents hitting 224 against him. It's just been excellent. Lefties hitting 246, 658. Righties 177, 616. He's getting righties out. Adrian Hauser on the other side has been very good all season long. It's just not ending. Even in the thin air of Colorado, he didn't allow an earned run over 8 innings. He's now made 3 home starts in 19 innings. He's allowed 1 earned run. It was a solo shot. That's it. Lefties 258, 767. We know that lefties get to him. And this confirmed Jays lineup has Nathan Lucas, Barger, Wagner, and Loper Fido, and Heineman the switchy. I would say that's a weak group of lefties if I wasn't watching them play every day. These guys are playing out of their minds. Lucas, too, a career minor leaguer, is relishing the opportunity at the top of the lineup. Loper Fido gets back up, and what's he do? He immediately starts swinging a hot bat. So it's a tricky spot here. We have a White Sox with a huge advantage over the last 30 days in the bullpen. Now, the elephant in the room is the Jays are hitting 284 with an 821 OPS versus righties. White Sox, though, are hitting lefties 249, 739 OPS. Mally Mouse says Valkyries up 9. Says fade the start comeback angle a real thing. Yeah, I'm so hesitant in WNBA, but take it away, Wine Time. Jays, White Sox.
Yeah, this is my first play I made official yesterday on Twitter. Well, I mean, I made it official with my entire card, but this is the first game I capped and made a play on. I got the under 8.5 minus 110 yesterday, Jim, on this matchup here. We're down to an 8 at minus 110. I like this under a lot in this spot. I do think you mentioned it, there's some room for home runs here in this spot after looking at Ballpark Pal. I think they're going to be more of solo home runs here in this spot, which we will take when we're on the under. I don't mind home runs as long as they're solo shots. But I mean, Jimmy, I was on the Blue Jays every game in that series against the Yankees, and I got off them. You know, I have a future on them. I've been talking so highly of this team. I wish I would just kept taking them here. And you're getting such an appealing line here, man. I mean, I've been high on these Jays, but why is this line priced the way it is, especially in the first 5 for the White Sox here? White Sox minus 105 at my book currently on the first 5 innings. And then when we look at the full game, they're plus 127 on the money line. A lot of difference there in the first 5 in the full game on these first 2 games that we've talked about so far. It makes me think, though, that the Blue Jays are live to win this full game and the White Sox are live to probably win this first 5, that Adrian Hauser goes out there and pitches well. I mean, we've seen him pitch well at times before. He's a journeyman. Both of these guys are journeymen, but both of them have been pitching decent this season. And this line is telling who's the much better team, the Blue Jays. I mean, they're sitting now 16 games over 500, guys. Currently, when we gave them out, 2.5 weeks ago. It's going on 3 weeks on Friday. They were plus 700. They're now currently sitting at a plus 105 to win the division. Yankees are a minus 105 on my book currently. We also gave out the Rays plus 700. They're back up to a plus 750 right now. They kind of came back to life a little bit. But this Blue Jays team, I mentioned at the beginning of the season, this team, once they take off, they're going to take off. And it's going to be hard to stop these guys in the order, especially when you're seeing guys like George Springer just play at such a high level this season right now at the age of 35. When you got a guy like that at his age playing as well as he is, and you got guys like Vlad, you got guys like Bouchette, you got guys like Kirk, they've got good guys in this lineup. I'm really high on this lineup. It just doesn't seem like a Blue Jays spot. I can't take the Blue Jays here in this spot. I could only take the under. I like that we got some value at the 8.5 rather than the 8. We beat this line movement. I figured this was going to get to an 8 at some point, and it did. I love the under here in this spot. I think both these pitchers are going to go out there and throw gems. You can even look at the first 5 under. I think this is going to be like a 0-0 or 1-1 game at the end of 5 innings. There's not going to be a lot of runs scored in this game. And I think that's why it's like I feel like the White Sox are live to win this first 5, but at the same time, I think it's just going to be a tie game, and they're probably going to end up getting the push here in this situation on the money line. It's nothing. I'm not going to move on a sideways, guys. I could only lean the White Sox first 5 here sideways, but we're on the under 8.5 minus 110. I still love the under 8. I think this maybe gets 5 or 6 runs here in this game, unless there's someone hits a home run. It's like a 3-run jack. If that happens, then it's going to be a little tough, but we'll take a solo shot. We'll take a 2-run shot. I'm not afraid of that, but you mentioned it. I think it's for extra base hits. It's not high here in this spot, Jim. I think you mentioned in the breakdown of Ballpark Pal, and it just makes sense to me on this under. I love the under in this spot, Jim.
Yeah, I get why you do. You know, when it comes down to it, this doesn't actually fit the mold. Like it just doesn't fit the mold of what I've been succeeding in with the first 3 unders. You have these 2 pitchers with very good numbers, and Jays are destroying righties. White Sox are hitting lefties harder than they have. The 8.5's gone down to 8. The first 3 under 2.5 is just slightly juiced. For a comparison, if we go to yesterday's card, so we have right now, this is a pick'em at 8, at 365. Pick'em at 8 at 365. If we go to, a first 3 under 2.5 that cashed easily. Let me go. Sorry, take 1 second here. Pittsburgh, Kansas City, for instance. That line history, and this is extremely important. So I'm just going to take a second here, which the KC Pittsburgh, when I moved on it, had gone from 8.5 to 8. It wasn't quite at a 7.5 yet. And it was, quite a bit more expensive than this Jays one. The Arizona San Diego is another great example. That was an 8 down to 7.5. And that was so expensive that I had to turn it into a 2. That was minus 165. So that was 40 cents more expensive than this one. And again, it's the numbers that aren't incredible. Even though if we look at that Pirates Royals numbers for those pitchers, they have been very good. So maybe that doesn't work that well. Let's go to that Diamondbacks Padres. They had pretty good numbers. I don't know. TJ says Hauser is not that good. He's off back-to-back 0 earned runs allowed versus Colorado, San Francisco. Toronto had 10 base runners in 6 innings, but only 2 runs. And then Texas had 10 runs in 5 innings. Makes me want the over first 5. Ron Lofton did take the first 5 under. I'm not going to move on it. I'm going to let it go. I'll cheer on Wine Times under 8.5 here. I can understand being on. Big Zo says they don't hit lefties well. They do over their last 30 days. They've hit lefties better than I've almost ever seen them. This is their batting average and OPS over the last 30 days. I'll pop it here. The last 30. There you go. So I'm gonna let it go, but I think I'm gonna move on this Dodgers first 5 minus a half. I just want to see what happens with this line if it keeps moving away here. We also have an enormous situation with the Connecticut Sun going to catch just a monster money line here. They're up 10. It's interesting. Seattle Storm has 7 points in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
And so they're going to annihilate Connecticut in 2 days in Seattle. First quarter, first half. Keep that in mind as we move forward here. Okay. And TJ still waiting for the Dodgers to post the lineup. Says Robert, shake my head. Maybe that's part of the reason why this line's gone against, or just, over the last little bit. Okay, so I'm letting the Blue Jays White Sox game go. I may be leaving money on the table. That's okay. But I do still want the Dodgers first 5 minus a half. I just want to see what that line is here. Yes, 8 a.m. for Seattle. Oh, I thought about all of that. It just, look, I would have ended up, Ron, unbelievably, going 2-1 in this game because I wanted the first half under, the first quarter under, which was 45 points, which quarter went way over. I wanted the Storm team total under 86.5, which I still could lose. They're at 83 with a few seconds left. I probably cash it. And then I wanted the Connecticut Sun plus 18. It looked like I was going to lose them all at one point. So, it is what it is. All right, let's roll on. We've talked about the first 2 afternoon games. Let's talk about 3:45 p.m. action. Philadelphia Phillies 53-39, 23-23 on the road at the San Francisco Giants 51-42, 27-17 at home at Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. It was fun to watch Verlander in a AAA ballpark get eaten up and spat out. Athletics put up 6 earned runs in 3 innings, 7 hits. He did strike out 5. Luzardo still dealing with these. Now, Ronnie Crawford says Valkyrie is going to get rolled in the second half. That was a plus 3.5, and it's still a plus 3.5.
I moved on the Fever money line plus 125.
I got 65 here.
Let me double check.
Double check that. Because you have 2 sites, right?
Yeah,
Choice says fade Verlander. I agree with that. Oh, and there they go. So the Seattle Storm do go under their point total. God, I just so snake bit.
Yeah, I got Fever plus 131.
Okay. I got plus 165. I don't mind
plus
the
3.5 as well. So I'm getting 30 cents less value on the money line live on this website. That's crazy.
Redbeard took the third quarter under 42.5. I guess I could use a little action here. I don't like the star player coming back. It kind of messes with their angle. But I hear what you're saying, Ron. It does historically when I've thought, if I was moving on a side, I think this is the side that makes sense. It was the sharp side, went from 8.5 to 7. When I flipped because of the first half, thinking, oh, well, now there's value on the side that I didn't want. That wasn't the sharp side. My ROI is negative. So I think I'm just going to let it go. But I'll think about it a little more. Let's talk Luzardo and Verlander. So Luzardo has had tipping pitches issues throughout this season. We know how much it meant to him moving to the Phillies. Spooner's talked about, notes that he's written on his glove to himself. And he just doesn't seem to keep it rolling. Coming off a terrible performance at home versus the Reds, 2 innings, 5 earned runs. On the road this year, he's not been very good. He's allowed 53 hits over 47 2/3, 23 earned runs in 9 starts. Opponents hitting 280 against him. Righties hitting him hard, 297, 794 OPS. Troy Torrance says fade Verlander, and I have been. I said he was the best fade in Major League Baseball. I said that to you guys about 6 weeks ago. He's 0-6, 4.84 ERA, 1.44 WHIP. The problem is here for me is that you go from the very worst pitching situation to the very best, and that's a concern. Now you could say, well, he's not being very good at home. That's fair. Points hitting 265 against him. He's allowed 21 earned runs over 8 starts. His splits are poor. Lefties hitting him hard. Righties hitting him hard. Phillies hitting 268, 770 versus righties. The Giants aren't hitting lefties. 219, 635 OPS. So I do fear a little bit of Verlander kind of, again, just situationally. You go from the worst place to pitch to the best. 58 Fahrenheit, feels like 57, 6.3 miles per hour to center field. Gets up to 7.2. Ballpark power is this at minus 10%, minus 22% home runs, minus 10% doubles and triples, plus 6% singles. We get to the line history here for this one. Oh, sorry, I still got yesterday's action. We go to the line history here. We have an 8. It's minus 107 to the under. This opened up at 8, minus 105 to the under. It got up to 8.5 at 10:07 a.m. and it stayed there until 20 minutes ago when it got back to 8. From a money line standpoint here, we have the Phillies at minus 125. They opened up minus 133. It's a short line move towards the Giants. And then when we get to the cash flow here, we have, we have 63% of the tickets on the Phillies and 82% of the cash. We have 63% of tickets and 88% cash on the over. This is very interesting. TransCanada says, my experiment went badly. I waited at the same street corner in Vancouver for 365 days to see if I would ever spot the bag, but I did not. Well, TransCanada, I'll be there tomorrow night, man. Be there tomorrow night, back in the 604. Take it away for us here, Wine Time Sports.
Yeah, this is an interesting spot, Jim. I mean, this moved up to, why did this move up to an 8.5 if we're seeing hitter-friendly weather here at a hitter-friendly ballpark? Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Maybe the Giants are live to hit Luzardo here, Jimmy. This line is not really moving right now. I'm not sure. Did you read off the ticket count? Could you read off the ticket count and percentage for me once again?
I can. So we've seen 8 cents of movement towards or away from the Phillies.
Yeah.
5 cents of movement towards the Giants. Again, as we see, the weather looks good. Oracle Park has this double digits negative for run expectation. Minus 22 for homers, minus 10 for doubles and triples. We have a move to the Giants despite 63% of the tickets and 82% of the cash being on the Phillies. And we have a stable total. It went up to 8.5 and back to 8. A stable total despite 63% of the tickets and 88% cash on the over.
Yeah, and I can get a Giants seem like the live spot here, Jim. And you know me, every time I've talked about Verlander, I've tried to fade him in some sort of fashion. I don't think I've backed him one time this season. I've only faded him. This might be the spot to actually get on Verlander here. I can get a plus 120 at my book right now. The total right now is sitting at 8 at a minus 110 both ways. I think the Giants could hit Luzardo here. I'm kind of close to moving on the Giants. Just kind of seems like a fishier line as well. Not so much, I mean, because their records are pretty identical. But when you look at both of these teams and what direction they're going to be going forward, the Phillies are going to be a playoff team. The Giants are not going to be a playoff team. Verlander not pitching well this year. I mean, what is he at this point? What's he really pitching for? It's not money. He's got plenty of it. He wants to get wins. I mean, that's what he's pitching for. He wants to get wins. He wants to get strikeouts. And he hasn't gotten it. And we're in mid-July right now, guys. This might be the spot that we actually take Verlander. I'm going to sit on this a little bit more. I'm curious to. I know my guy Troy. He's on the Phillies. Did he say he's on the Phillies first 5 or full game here? I missed that part.
Everybody seems to be fading, and I see TransCanada in the chat. Everybody seems to be fading Verlander here. Everybody.
I would only back Verlander here in this spot. This might be a get right spot for him against these Phillies lineup. Phillies lineup's a good lineup here, but maybe Verlander pitches up to the competition. I think that's what the line's telling us right now. I want to quickly look at the first 5 price difference on my book here. Wow. Phillies minus 150 first 5, and the Phillies are minus 128 full game. That's nearly 22 cents difference right there on the first 5. That's, I mean, the books are telling us that Luzardo is going to outpitch Verlander from what I'm seeing right there. It doesn't correlate enough for me. That right there, that enough is going to take me off this game as of right now, Jim. I'm not going to move on it if we're seeing, because my take would be that Verlander pitches up to his competition here at home on a pitcher-friendly day at Oracle Field. I want to get to Oracle one of these days. It's only like an 8-hour drive for me. I got to get up there. It'd take an hour flight up there. I got to get up to this ballpark. It's beautiful, especially in the summertime. I'd want to check it out. It's like 63 degrees there. That's crazy. Someone's in the chat said like 58 degrees. I got to get there in mid-July. That's crazy. You got a nice breeze, but definitely gets a little chilly down there from what I've heard. But But I like the Giants here in this spot. But that first 5 alone is going to take me off this. This is telling me that Luzardo is going to outpitch Verlander, and maybe the Giants get to this Phillies bullpen later in the game. I'm not too sure here because we're seeing a total at 8, but go up to an 8.5, back to an 8. Maybe this is going to be a higher scoring game here, even though it's a pitcher friendly day. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, Jimmy. This line, this total, everything in this game, it's going to keep me off it. I wanted to be on the Giants, but it doesn't correlate. I can't do it.
No, you're right. It it doesn't. I feel like the market is opening up their arms to anybody who wants the over. And I feel similar about the Phillies. I get it from an X's and O's spot. And the question is here, you know, you have a road team with Luzardo who has weak numbers against a Giants team that's not hitting lefties, which helps, but they're 10 games over 500, and the pitching statistically is kind of a wash, you know, even though we know Luzardo is better pitcher than Verlander at this point. So yes, Wage Detective line is indicating the Giants have a legit chance here, but you know, they're 10 games over 500 at home. I would think that that 20-cent difference from -130 to -150 is telling that the Phillies' first 5 are live.
Yeah.
And this is a great bounce back situation for Luzardo. You know,
especially against this batting order that the Giants have. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've got guys like Rafael Devers. I love Rafi, but he still hasn't adjusted to that ballpark yet. It's a very hitter-friendly ballpark, or pitcher-friendly ballpark. They got Matt Chapman back. I haven't seen too much of Chapman these last couple of games. I know he was out for a while. We know what he can do with the glove. The bat's sometimes a question. They've got a couple guys in that order that I do like, but this might be a good spot for Luzardo to go out there and dominate. There's so many things in this game that just don't make sense to me. I'm really curious to watch this game and see as it's going to be coming. I think this is a 12:45 start for me over here on the West Coast. So I'm going to have this going. I'm curious to see what happens in this game. I'm really curious because nothing makes sense to me in this game. This is a very difficult cap. And if you have a side in this game, then shout out to you, because I just can't simply find it. Nothing correlates in this game for me.
Spooner says, I can't trust Luzardo here. No, he's struggling with tip issues. That's true. That's true. I mean, that's what he's battling right now. It's true. It's hard to. It's true. Irish King, great work, man. Saw you just hit for 700, man. I don't mean to be like a fucking downer, but don't bet anymore. Roulette. Stop. You got that 700. Now invest it in the sports.
Exactly.
You know,
do not sit there, because if you sit there any longer, you will lose it. You will.
But you know what you're doing, and I don't mean to be a fucking, you know. Joe Yerger says the public don't like Verlander. I would rather fade the public putting too much into starting pitching. Yeah, Luzardo is similar here. I don't know. I guess I'm being a little too pensive. T Moss, great to see you, man. Hope all is well your way. Let's roll on here, but I still kind of want to take that Dodgers first 5.
What are you getting?
Well, I have to take it -0.5. I'm still waiting for this line to show.
I mean, Jim, mine's back down to a -180 on the money line first 5. It did go down to, I think, what did I say, a 170. Now on the half run line, it's -120 right now. I just refreshed my book, so maybe you can get. Oh, I gotta re-sign in. Let's just double check here. I just want to make sure I didn't just say that. Yeah, -0.5, -120, and -180 on the money line right now. And we're seeing a total 4.5, -115 to the under in this game. Yeah, it had some movement towards the Brewers, but went back towards the Dodgers, Jim.
TJ says books have already made a killing on taking Philadelphia action this series, and they're giving you -125 against Verlander, San Francisco spot. Yeah. But AM on the other side says Giants classic look ahead spot. You see it all the time. Okay. We got Kong's Clips action in here. JW backing the Giants. Okay. I mean, I guess the issue when it comes down to it is we know that the Giants aren't hitting left-handed pitching. The problem is Luzardo's tipping his pitches, and he's getting annihilated when he does so. And if he can't change whatever it is that he's doing that the whole league knows about, then I don't know how you can trust the weak numbers that the Giants have against lefties. Do I think there'll be carryover from Bailey's inside the Parker? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I guess I don't have an answer for that. Those are our 3 afternoon games here. When Jose gets back rocking with us, I think I'll put in action. It might just be the Dodgers first 5 -1/2, expecting their bats to attack Quintana. Sunny Spring says Phillies all day long. Let's move on to 5:10 p.m. Eastern action. Tampa Bay Rays 49-43, 21-18 on the road at the Detroit Tigers 59-34, 32-14 at home at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. And these are 2 pitchers that I like very much. Zach Littell and Reese Olson, especially Reese Olson. I love the way he came back from the IL. He had a finger injury. His last start before last week was back on May 17th, and he was great. 2-1 win at Cleveland, 4 1/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run. It was solo shot, 3 Ks, and 1 walk. That is interesting. Eldorado saying anyone have records after a walk-off. That is interesting. Stephen Hairston says Giants is the play, in my opinion. It's a very interesting split here, which reminds me of the Mariners-Yankees.
Yeah.
That would have changed my whole day because I went in. I had it queued up, the Yankees -1, Yankees double result, but then I got cold feet and then everybody was so split in the chat. I stayed off of it, and that helps me in the long run. There's going to be sometimes it'll cost me, but I know it helps me and it helps my bankroll in the long run. So I'm fine with it, and I'll do it again. If you guys are 50-50 like that, and you have such strong cappers on one side, I'll be comfortable staying off of it. Here we go, though. Zach Littell, Reese Olson. Let's start with the weather here at Comerica. It's 78 Fahrenheit. Feels like 82. 6.3 miles per hour, slightly in. Then it becomes slightly out. Then it's right across the diamond, dies down about a mile. It's not a big issue here. Big show picks in the house. UFC 317. We have the Locker Room Talk podcast, our showcase video throughout the week. The squad is killing it in MLB too. I shot the big show picks in the house. So let's get into a ballpark pal here for Comerica and Michigan. Man, I missed this ballpark. Plus 3% overall, -7% home runs, -2% doubles and triples, plus 13% singles. Get into the line history here for the spot. We have the Detroit Tigers. Oh, shoot, that's first 5. My apologies. I'm going to quickly get the full game. The Detroit Tigers -137. This opened up -145, so we've had to move towards the Tampa Bay Rays. A bit of a surprise. I don't think they have the better pitcher on the mound, but he certainly has handled the difficulties of Georgia and Steinbrenner Field with aplomb. This total is an 8. It's a pick'em. It started at 8.5. The 8.5 was juiced to the under, so it's an 8 at a pick'em. It's like a quarter of a run move, Then let's get to the cash flow here for Tigers Rays. We have 55% of the tickets on the Tigers, 62% of the cash on the Rays, 67% of tickets on the under, and 52% of cash on the under. So some bigger bets are coming in on. Oh shit, that was an error on the thumbnail. It's UFC Nashville. Okay, my bad. Sorry. Okay, thank you for the heads up there. Vladdy, 1 hit away from 1,000 hits. Of all the horrible things I've thought and said about Manny Machado, I really liked what he said after 2,000 hits. He seemed like
What'd he say?
Just everything you want to hear from a player. Just how much he loves baseball, how hard it is to get 1 hit, and what a special sport. And I was like, what happened? Somebody cheated on him, or he got an STD. the only things I could possibly imagine, because he's come down to earth.
I'll never forget when he goes, "I'm Manny fucking Machado."
I hated that so much. I hated that so much, but it was the total opposite.
Yeah,
it was the total opposite. He sounded like a pretty good person in this last one, and I was ready for him to be a dick too. And he was like, oh, okay. Zach Littell, 7-7, 3.50 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. He's been excellent. He's been excellent Now, it's interesting. You would think that these pitchers would succeed on the road because of the pitching environments they have at home. And you can say that about all these pitchers. Zach Littell had struggled on the road. And now he's starting to pitch much better here. He has had more starts on the road, but he's coming off a great start at the Twins. 1 earned run. It was a solo shot. It's a 4-3 loss, but he pitched well. Splits are very strong. And we talked about Reese Olson coming back from the IL. Also very strong splits. Both teams are raking against righties. Rays 285, 788. Tigers 253, 805. And both teams' bullpens are horrific. It does feel like a live bet situation. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Take it away, my man.
Yeah, I like both these pitchers as well. I've been a big Zach Littell fan as well, so I'm with you there here. This wasn't a game I had an initial move on. You guys know me. I've been high on this Rays team this season. I moved on a futures on them. I've been cashing with them in situations. Have came back to life a little bit. Haven't been playing as good a ball the last week or so, but no, not a lot of live movement in this game here. Kind of makes me think the Rays are live here. Last night, I could have gotten the Rays at a plus 135. I guess slight movement. They're plus 130 right now, currently sitting. We're seeing it 8.5 juice to the under at minus 120. I do like both these pitchers, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get over this total here. When I cap this game, I've been kind of staying off Rays games the last week or so. I don't like what I see from the eye test from them right now. They do have some really good bats in that order that I've talked about here on the show. I like guys like Yandy Diaz. I think he's one of the most underrated hitters in all of baseball. I know he doesn't play the field, but he's got such a good bat. You got the guy like Aranda over there. You got Junior Caminero. You got Josh Lowe. Hassan Kim should be back in there as well. Doesn't have a great bat, but he does have a pretty good glove in there. I don't know. Tigers have been playing such consistent baseball this year, Jim. I've been waiting for them to fall off in some ways because I didn't think going into this year they would be this good. I thought they would be pretty good, but I just didn't know they'd be this consistent this year. And they're showing it at all levels right now. I mean, they've got 2 all-stars in the outfield. They've got one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, in Tyreek Skubal. It's too tough of a game for me here in this spot. I think we might be kind of getting some value with this plus money here on the Rays. It doesn't correlate enough for me to actually move on this game. I didn't want to have anything to do with this game. I've been kind of getting off Tigers games. Shout out to my guy Big Show in the chat. Big Detroit guy over there. Can't wait for Michigan football as well. Can't wait to break that down. You here for that because I got a good breakdown of Michigan football. So shout out to my guy Big Show there and his Detroit Tigers because this team has been playing some really good baseball. They're going to win the Central. Live, I think they're like a minus 1,400 to win the division right now, something like that, something crazy. They're running away with this thing. I like what they're doing, and I like the Rays too. So nothing correlates enough for me in this game. We've got 6 plays today. So we're going to be getting to those here pretty soon. But in this one, I want nothing to do with it. I maybe kind of lean towards the under here because I like both these pitchers on the mound. But nothing correlates enough for me in this game to actually move on it. So I ended up passing on this game.
Problem is, you can't trust the bullpens. Rays bullpen 5.49 last 30 days.
It's crazy. Yeah. They had such a good bullpen for a while, and now they've just been getting lit up.
Tigers 4.54. So you can't, last 30 days. Then both teams are raking righties. So as much as I like the starting pitching, I can't quite trust it here. I did move on the plus 8.5 for the Fever. So I feel good about not moving at 3.5 at halftime. I don't feel good about going against the sharp action. But now we're talking about, a 17-point difference from the opening line, and we'll see how that bangs out. Chad Pickard in the house. What's happening, Chad? Well, we are through 4 games, and it's a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be, and I thought that action would open up for me. But we have the producer of Betting with the Bag here, Backbone Pub Sports Radio, coming to us live from the studio at the Southtown 101 in San Antonio, Texas, best bar in Texas. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Jose Bouquet, to the show. Jose, what's good, man? How are you?
I'm not well. I got crushed yesterday, so that fucking sucked. But I'm ready to attack today. Hopefully we can bounce back some. But Tuesdays and Sundays are just death for me right now. So ready to attack.
The bounce back is always better than the setback, Jose. We're going to get it back today, my guy.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I'll get that tattooed on my ass.
Oh God, it's so funny how he can take such positivity and just. Now, Jose, I would like to get in my action for that 210 game. Can you let us know Dodgers, Brewers, expectation on Glasnow, Quintana? Did you move on the game?
No, I didn't. I wanted to cap everything kind of down with you guys. I was kind of half listening to the breakdowns while doing some work here. But Tyler Glass now coming back obviously is good for baseball. Will be interesting to see how he does. And I heard the comments about his minor league starts and how we're not really worried about them being bad. And I kind of agree with you there. It's obviously them just trying to figure their shit out there. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 1/3, 5 earned runs in 2 of his 3 starts there. So I don't love betting the first start back for most people coming back from injury. So I stayed off there. And we'll be interested in. And I think you guys said that the Dodgers are like on a 5-game losing streak or something like that. So
And Chad Pickard has come in and said this. He said, "Don't bet the Dodgers." Says they don't care about the series. Brewers do, which is why I've seen lack of concern for the Dodgers. I think at this point now, you've lost 5 straight. I think that's why the lineup is so thick on a travel day for the Dodgers, because they want to stop this losing. And I know you're talking about having the Giants on deck, but. We have wine time moving on the under 8.5 in Toronto, Chicago White Sox. Did you move on that, Jose?
Yeah, I just did the old classic Jimmy the Bag. Look at the first 5 line, look at the full game line. Why is the first 5 line so much different than the full game line? So White Sox first 5 for me, minus 105. A bet that I made like a minute before getting on the show.
White Sox first 5, minus 105.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the difference in the lines. Minus 136 full game, minus 105 or minus 115 first 5. Allegedly a big move on them as well. First 5, I'm seeing where we used to play poker, open it up at minus 140, and it just, goes from then to minus 122 to minus 115. So I'll take the White Sox. I'll ride with you, Billy. Shout out to you, my man. And we'll ride together here.
Phillies, Giants. This one is just back and forth. Cappers on either side of the fence. Luzardo tipping his pitches. 20 cents more expensive for the Phillies. Verlander going from the worst pitching environment to the best. What are your thoughts?
I've been fading Verlander pretty religiously, like I'm sure you have as well. But I'd rather fade him on the road. On the road is where I've been especially fading him here. I was on him, or I was against him in the last start where he gave up 6 earned runs. So does he bounce back? I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I'm very interested to see what happens with Luzardo. A pitcher that I'm obviously very fond of. A shit start, and that's 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned. Was he tipping on that start? Maybe, but I think tipping is a pretty easy thing to fix. You just, if they know it, your pitching coaches and probably everyone in the dugout can probably see it too, and they, just talk to him about it, and you have 5 days to figure it out. I think he figured. I think he figures it out and pitches well. So, kind of an under game for me, but I stayed off.
I thought about the under as well. I would actually have interest in the first 3 under. I don't know though, if I just feel like there's information that I don't have, and that makes me uncomfortable to move on it. But I'm not going to. Let's talk about Rays, Tigers, and then we're on the same page here.
I will say, Jimmy, quickly, Penny, I'm sure you talked about this, opened up at an 8, got up to an 8.5, and comes back down to an 8. And Wager's saying there's 66% of the bets, 91% of the money on the over, and it came down still. That's why I on top of liking the under because of the pitchers, the market kind of saying under too, but I'm too pussy to take it. So pass for me.
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, but again, like it's, and I know that we all have a high ROI on the bets that kind of make us sick. there's just, again, I'm going to say it another time, that I just don't, Billy says tipping is an easy thing to fix. It hasn't been for Luzardo. What are we, 6 weeks now of his having issues tipping his pitches? So I just feel like there's information that I don't have. Jose, touch on Littell, Reese Olson. These pitchers I believe in very much. The problem is these teams are raking righties. These bullpens are terrible. Now you can make money off of that. Take it away, though, Jose. Your thoughts on this Littell, Reese Olson, Rays Tiger spot at Comerica?
Isn't it funny that you said both these teams are hitting righties well? I'll give you guys the numbers from the 15th to I fucked it up there, but the 15th to today with these numbers for weighted runs created plus to reinforce all this. Tigers are second, 134 weighted runs created plus. Rays are fifth, 125 weighted runs created plus, and yet this total is an 8. I would expect this total to be like 8.5, 9, closer to 9 with both these offenses. Littell and Reese Olson are okay pitchers, not like, shutdown guys. I like Reese more than Littell. And I'm seeing a Penny open this up. Penny opened this up at 8.5 and actually came down, which is interesting here. Where we used to play poker, 8 juice to the under. It's minus 115 there, but Penny opened this up at 8.5, and we go down to an 8, and I don't feel like you see Penny open up a line higher and move it down the half run very often. So I think this is under or nothing, even though both these guys and these pitchers, or excuse me, these offenses are really good. I think that somehow this stays under with this low total.
Well. I would like to get in here. I'd like us to take one last look at what's going on with this Dodgers first 5 spot. I feel like the bats are going to come in and attack Quintana, and I think that price difference is something. I don't like trusting Glasnow. No, Troy. I mean, Spoon and I have been following this now for like 6 weeks because we both believe in Luzardo. I just feel like, Troy, that there's information that I don't have and that it's not explained in his xERA. Personally.
Jim, how about the line moving 10 cents towards the Brewers full game, and then the line moving back towards the Dodgers in that first 5? I'm looking at it right now. I mean, Dodgers currently still sitting at the -0.5, minus 120 on the run line first 5. And now we're looking at the full game. They're down to a minus 144. I think they were minus 155 when we broke this down on my book. Tell me that the Dodgers are going to come out here, but the Brewers are live for this full game here. It's a tricky cap, man. We got a lot of tricky games today, a lot of good games that are really interesting today. I've got 6 plays today, guys, and most of them are in the later slate, so I'm looking forward to getting to those. But we've got some good action today, man.
Yeah, that's a big move to the Brewers. I mean, there's clearly been a move, both first 5 and full game over the last 25 or 30 minutes towards the Milwaukee Brewers that we need to either respect or look past. And okay, you know what? I'm not going to move on anything at this point. And yeah, Chad, no, I get it. I get it. We've seen these pictures of late, though, with alarming numbers in the re-up starts to deliver right off the hop. Let's roll. Let's roll. No, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
Troy. I hear what you're saying, and it's valid. Let's roll on. You know, I'm coming off of a day where I had 15 bets. I needed nothing else in life yesterday, just my own action, and so I fired away. So it's a weird feeling not firing away here. Let's roll in Mets Orioles. That's our next spot on the board, and the Orioles just did us so fucking dirty. Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. David Peterson going up against Tomoyuki Sugano.
I think the Orioles are the team that have just hurt me the most this year. Not really financially, but just emotionally.
1 sec.
God.
That was that hurt me in multiple ways yesterday. The problem is you still think you're okay, or you have a chance when you get an extra. It's like it's just we don't need to get into it, but it was rough. Stacks play of the day is in this one. New York Mets team total over 5.5 at -104 for our guy Justin McKelvey. Stacks in that. Maybe seeing some cash drop will get me rolling. Shout out to our guy Justin McKelvey. Stacks play today. Mets team total over.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Here we go. Camden Yards, Charm City, Baltimore, Maryland. Let's get into the weather to get us started here. We have rain throughout this baseball game. This is the one game that there's possible weather delay, rain out, and it looks like there will be a rain out. Now, we had 2 of these games yesterday, and despite that, all the games played, and it was important that we kept them all.
Hey, Jim, I just want to give a quick, someone said it looked like someone came up to my front door and I swear try to open my front door and I go up the front door with my fist out and he's like, oh, here's your cat food. And I was like, oh shit, just like a normal guy, but I thought he was like trying to break into my house. My heart was beating fast there for a moment, guys, but we're good. So shout out to him for bringing my cat food, running low on that. So shout out to him.
Yeah, I still don't trust him.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I
mean, I just see some because I have just my blinds open, and I swear I thought I heard someone open the door, but it was just putting the bag up against the door. He's a really nice guy, so I felt bad, but I opened that door ready to swing, and yeah.
By the way, we got Rude Boy in the house who likes the Dodgers still first 5 -1/2. The Nerfy and Jay Sox, he's parlaying that together. So, Billy Brisbane said the oldest scheme in the book. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's talk about the rain here. So first off, do we think this game goes? Oriole Parks plus 17% overall runs, plus 20% homers, plus 9% doubles, triples, plus 8% singles. This is a spot where it's supposed to rain all day. There's no now we have Von Polo in the house, so Von Polo can tell us if he thinks this game goes, but this is just full rain all day. I mean, I just don't see how this game goes. So, Jose, you think this game goes?
I don't think so. The Baltimore and obviously the Nationals, that DMV area is always the place where they get the most rain delays. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is delayed.
Delayed, but it's not supposed to stop raining ever.
Yeah. So do they play tomorrow? Doubleheader tomorrow, I assume?
Oh, good call. They must. Let me just check very quickly.
If they play tomorrow, then obviously that will
do.
be okay. Then yeah, they'll have a doubleheader tomorrow. Because if they didn't play tomorrow, then they'd have to make a whole thing to try to reschedule this game that I'm sure these teams don't play each other again for the rest of the season. So for sure, doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah, this will be a doubleheader tomorrow. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Then we got VP in the house. He says it's supposed to rain until midnight. I don't think we get as lucky tonight as we did last night. Chad Pickard says if it goes. Now, let's just do a little bit of due diligence just to help the cap for tomorrow. Just a little bit, as it's the first game of the day and probably will be part of a double header. So we'll just do a little bit of work on it. Right now, when we compare this to tomorrow, there's only been a 5-cent move to the New York Mets. I told you guys that I watch Peterson closely, and he doesn't quite look the same. Now, he's coming off of a good start. 6 2/3. He allowed 1 earned run. 2 runs overall, 1 earned run, a homer, 4 Ks, 3 walks, 3-2 win at home versus the Brewers. So he kind of righted the ship, but on the road, he's not looked very good of late. Overall, he's allowed 23 earned runs in 8 starts. Righties, 253, 704. That number's coming up. Sagano's starting to get lit up and smoked. Coming off the 6-0 loss at the Rangers, 6 earned runs over 4 2/3. They all came against him. Lefties hitting him hard. Righties hitting him hard. Mets hitting 248, 764 versus righties. And the Orioles are hitting lefties. Remember early in the year when they couldn't touch them? Right now, 263, 734 OPS. And it's hard to believe right now after what we saw in the first month and a half or so of the year, but the Orioles have a huge advantage in the bullpen right now. The Mets bullpen is amongst the worst in baseball, 5.72 ERA last 30 days, while the Orioles bullpen is getting better and better and better as this season goes on. We'll just take a quick look at this cash flow. Very brief in this interleague spot. 85% of the tickets, 93% of cash on the Mets. I imagine this line isn't moving too much because the books don't think it's going to go, but I don't want to count on that. 56% of tickets, 61% cash on the under. We don't need to spend too much time on this, fellas, but let's hear Wine Time. Did you have interest in this game?
No interest in this one. Yeah, I had the intention that this game wasn't going to go here. I would have a lean towards the Mets, maybe on the -1 spot. I was on the Orioles yesterday, and just to see that complete debacle there in the final innings, just I don't know if I can do it, man. I backed the Orioles probably I got to look back at my spreadsheet and see how many times I've actually backed these guys this season, but it's been quite a couple times, and I don't think I can get to the window here, especially in a game I don't think is going to go. We have so much value on the board and some dogs here in this spot today. I didn't want to take anything in this game, so this was a pass for me.
Jose, is there anything you want to add before we get into Mariners Yankees?
No, we can move on.
All right, so we got Dougie Wise, Freeman's play of the day. He has also added the Astros to that. We have DC Capper on the Cardinals, copy and pasting all this action from the fellows. But let's move on to the next spot on the board. I am absolutely astonished that I'm still not moving on those afternoon games. But I'm a big proponent about taking what the league gives you.
I was astonished at the results of Twins in this game yesterday. I mean, oh my God. I couldn't believe how much ass whoopings those games were. I was like,
Jose, I couldn't believe you weren't on the Twins. I was kind of mad you weren't on the Twins with me yesterday. I thought you were going to get there with me. I was in the chat. I was like, Jose, come on, take the Twins with me, my guy.
That was the spot. The market doesn't lie, I guess. I don't know. It was a shit day. So I the whole day, trust me, I was like, God, the Twins were so fucking. I guess the Twins were the easiest bet on the board, apparently. Had them and the Marlins. But yeah.
Troy Torrance says Yankees first 5, team total over 2.5, not an elite bet. Let's talk about this. We have the major league debut of Cam Schlittler. This is, of course, Clark.
That's
Schmidt.
how you say his name?
I have no idea. I've never heard it said.
Okay, I didn't know. I don't know either. I've never heard it said either. But if people are going to call him the shit man, then I like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't talk too much shit to Cam Schlittler because his dad is a police chief in Massachusetts. So I imagine.
Yeah, come beat my ass. I know that. He'd look at me and just immediately assume I was up to no good and just start whooping my ass. The shit man. is it chief officer shit man? I like that as well. Police chief Schlittler.
Yes. Whooping your ass is better than beating your ass, I think. You want to work on your terminology because you talk about your ass often. And
no, I want the vivid image of my ass.
Okay, let's get back to work here. We're in the Bronx. Let's get into the weather here in the Bronx. Partly cloudy, 86 Fahrenheit, feels like 90, 6.3 miles per hour right to left, ice down to 4.5 miles per hour. Let's get into the ballpark pal expectation of the Bronx, man, plus 8%. I get so every time we talk about these stadiums, I imagine them immediately. I've been to them, and I'm just so jealous of everybody who, look, there's a lot of positives having a young family, but I miss going to these places so much. We have Yankee Stadium plus 8%, plus 31% homers, minus 6% doubles and triples, and minus 6% singles. Spooner says Schlittler has a plus fastball that tops out at 98. Tall guy, 6'6". Scouting Report says he struggles with lefties, but has a slider that's really tough on righties. Spooner wants to bet Seattle. So again, Clark Schmidt is gone. Sadly, we're expecting the Tommy John surgery. Right now, it's a forearm strain. In spring training, Schlittler really impressed, apparently. And he was 7th round pick in 2022 out of Northeastern. Now 24 years old. He was excellent in AA Somerset, 2.38 ERA, 9 appearances, promoted up to AAA. In AAA, 3.80 ERA, went 2-1 in 5 starts for Scranton, Wilkes, Barry. The Mariners are hitting 267, 760 OPS versus righties, while the Yankees 252, 758 OPS. The Mariners have a real legitimate advantage in the bullpen. So we've talked about Cam Schlittler making his major league debut here. Now let's discuss Logan Evans. So we have two young pitchers on the hill. Logan Evans has been excellent. 3-2, 2.96 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. Didn't allow a run in his last start. It was at home versus the light hitting Royals. On the road, he's been really well. On the road, he's been hit. He's been hit. He's allowed 9 earned runs in 4 starts. He hasn't gone deep in games. Opponents are hitting .330 against him. He's allowed 30 hits in 22 innings. Struck out 20, walked 6. He's allowed 4 home runs. Lefties and righties both hitting him with similar numbers. Let's get into the line history here. We have the Yankees at minus 153. They opened up minus 155. There had been a move to the Mariners, and it just came back. There was just a 9-cent move towards the Yankees. And from a total perspective, we have a 9.5, minus 107 to the over. This opened up minus 106 to the over. We had a 1-cent move towards the over. So take it away. Wine Time Sports, Mariners, Yankees.
Yeah, this one's going to be on Amazon Prime from what it seems like here. Yeah, Amazon Prime. Yeah, looking at this game, Jim, I was on the Mariners yesterday. I had capped them the night before. I thought they were the right side. And I woke up that morning and I kind of saw some line movement towards the Yankees and kind of had me backpedaling a little bit, but we still have the Mariners. They got crushed yesterday. Seeing this total at 9.5 here, I kind of want to take the over here in this spot, especially with Schlittler on the mound here against Logan Evans. I think a lot of runs could be scored in this matchup here. I do think the Yankees are live to win this game. Sitting here at minus 150, it's just not enough for me to move on this. It's crazy. I think all my games, like I've given out one play today, and 5 of my plays are on the last 6 games of the Cards, 5 of the last 6, I think. This is going to end up being a pass for me. Do have a lean towards the over here because we are seeing some slight movement towards the over. I saw this as a minus 105 to the over at 9.5 earlier, so I see some 5 cents in their direction, and I believe this actually opened up at a 9 juice to the over from what I see. So we are seeing some movement towards the over. And when you see a total with 9.5 with the Mariners, I feel like you kind of have to take the over there. But it doesn't correlate enough for me to actually move on this game here. I have a lean towards the over. Maybe I get there. We'll see. I kind of want to see these lineups get posted and all that. I don't know enough about Cam to go out there and back the Yankees here. Seeing that they're a minus 150 after losing quite a couple games there. They had a nice little streak where they weren't winning many games, and the Mariners are fighting still in that AL West. It doesn't correlate enough for me to actually move on this game, looking at the X's and O's and looking at the market and looking at both these pitchers. I couldn't move on this. I could only lean towards the Yankees in the over, but it's not going to be plays made official by me by any means.
Yeah, I get an interesting DC capper on the under 9.5 here. Chad Pickard on the Mariners team total over 4.5. Spooner says rule of thumb for him: back the pitchers that earn the spot in the rotation, and fade the guys being shoved up too soon to fill in for injury. This guy only has 6 games in his career with a major league ball or the AA ball. He had more success with is different. That's interesting. Yeah, the AA ball and the AAA ball. Interesting, Spooner. Jose Bouquet, Mariners, Yankees, take it away.
Yeah, I've got nothing in this game. It seems like the right side is the Mariners, though. I don't trust the shit man here. Chief Officer Schlittler. There's slight movement up to the Yankees, I guess here. Penny opened this at minus 155, though. It's at minus 153. Everyone and their moms is on the Yankees and the shit man. Where are we here? 72% of the bets, 95% of the money on Chief Officer Schlittler. And, that's not really moved much. So no thanks. I'd rather be on the Mariners here, but I am especially gun shy after getting reamed yesterday, I guess. So I'm off here. But I think the Mariners are the right side if I was betting it.
Yeah, that's a great made by Troy Torrance right there. He said, rule of thumb for me, don't fade a rookie pitcher who's priced as a minus 150 favorite against a winning baseball team. That makes a lot of sense right there, man, to keep anyone off the Mariners, if you ask me. That makes a lot of sense right there.
Yeah. It's a lot of money on the Yankees. I mean, let's go over Logan Evans' road starts here, and then we can maybe have a better oh shit, that's tomorrow. Going up against Strosho tomorrow. That'll be very fun. Okay, let's just quickly look at Logan Evans' road starts here, because it's a lot of money on the Yankees here. And So last road started Arizona, 4 earned runs over 5 innings. 6 innings, he had allowed 4 earned runs at the White Sox. Interesting that he shut the Padres down. I don't know why that would have been, why he was able to shut the Padres down. It looks like there'll be a rain delay in the White Sox game. And then he had a good start. I mean, well, he didn't. He allowed 6 runs, but only 1 was earned against the Rangers. So the last 2 road starts have not been good. Okay. Okay, let's roll on. Jose going to get us started here with the Boston Red Sox. I've been telling you guys for a while that Senzatella is giving a lot of value in the totals market. Now, you don't need to back the Rockies, but his numbers are horrific. And of late, he's been delivering first 3 unders and first 5 unders, depending on what you are betting. Let's talk about Fenway Park today, Wednesday, July 9th, and touch on the weather. We have 71 Fahrenheit, feels like 75, 4.5 miles per hour in, dies down at 3.6 miles per hour. So Fenway Park is plus 9% overall at Ballpark Pal, minus 7% home runs, but plus 16 doubles and triples, and plus 10 singles. Getting to the line history here for Rockies Red Sox. It was an interesting day yesterday. Because is it right? Am I right? With the Red Sox didn't start scoring until the 6th inning, right? It was 0-0.
Yeah, something like that. It was late. It took a while to get going.
So the double result didn't cash. I didn't bet it, but we were talking about the price differences in the double results and how the Jays were so expensive in the double result, so expensive, and they were wire to wire, and the Cardinals ended up being wire to wire as well. But the Red Sox didn't catch that first 5. And it looked like, with that top of the 3rd inning when the Nats scored 2 against Sonny Gray, that it wasn't going to be wire to wire, but then they bounced back immediately.
When you say wire to wire, you can only think of 2 names, Patches O'Houlihan.
Yeah, he delivered, man.
The greatest dodgeball player and coach of all time.
And one of the greatest horses of all time.
Yeah, I remember you guys talking about him on the live stream, actually. I remember that. That's funny.
Soon to be Kentucky Derby winner, Patches O'Houlihan, right, Jimmy?
That's funny.
Is he young enough? I don't know.
Let's get into the line history here for Rockies Red Sox. The Red Sox are minus 302 right now. They opened up minus 280, so a 22-cent move towards the Boston Red Sox. Again, we saw this yesterday. Now, they didn't start out as such big favorites. It's amazing what Lucas Giolito has done of late. This line opened up at 9, minus 113 to the over, got up to 9.5 for a cup of coffee, and then came back to 9, being a 3-cent move. Now, one of the things about Giolito is his impressive performances have been coming on the road. At home, he's still been struggling. But we'll start with Senzatella. 5 2/3 last out, allowed 3 earned runs. Look, his statistics are terrible. So, when if I read out his numbers, you're just going to say, well, that pitcher's absolute trash. And it's fair to say if you're talking about his body of work in totality. But if we're talking about what Senzatella has done of late, he's been much better. He had a bad start at Milwaukee. 5 earned runs over 4 1/3. But even including that start, I guess it's not that good. Now, he had those 2 back-to-back good starts. At Washington, he allowed 0 earned runs over 5 innings. Then he allowed 2 earned runs over 5 1/3 against Arizona. It looked like he was getting it together. And then he allowed 5 earned runs against Milwaukee, and it was clear that he didn't. Coming off an okay start. Maybe I'm a little too caught up in those 2 good starts after the Giants game. And he had a couple good starts before the Giants game as well. The Rockies are hitting 245, 717 against righties. Red Sox 248, 751. And the Rockies bullpen is back to trash. Red Sox bullpen is struggling a little bit. Giolito, 1 earned run in his last start over 7 2/3 at the Nationals. But on the road, he's allowed 19 earned runs. At home at Fenway, he's allowed 19 earned runs in 6 starts. And opponents are hitting 339 against him. Righties are hitting him very hard, 294 with 761 OPS. He's shutting down all lefties. So we take a look at who do we expect in the lineup? You're going to have Freeman, Goodman, Beck, Estrada. So you'll have 4 righties at least off the top. The only lefties in the lineup will be Moniak and McMahon. Toglia will hit from the right side. So here we go. Jose Bouquet, tell us about your Boston Red Sox today. DC Capper on the over 9 in this one.
Yeah, what a fucking interesting team this is, man. What a fucking team. It is The last 6 months of Boston Red Sox have been crazy. And they're going to trade Jarren Duran and probably Aroldis Chapman. And they're still going to buy, which is interesting. By the way, Jimmy, a rumor today, I think John Tomasi put this out. Red Sox are looking at Joe Ryan. Oh, my God. I would lose my fucking mind if Joe Ryan was a Boston Red Sox. That would be awesome. I'd be happy. And it's going to cost Jarren Duran, but I would do that in a heartbeat. I can't fade the Red Sox right now. They're hot. And the best part about Lucas Giolito, and I don't think this is a fluke, he's talked about how he thinks he found something with old Andrew Bailey, and he's been pitching fantastic, and I'm not going to fade him here. Red Sox have been playing well, playing these shitty teams, and I fucking thank these shitty teams for being shitty. So no action for me. I expect the Red Sox to roll again, though.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jose. I think the Red Sox are definitely the play here in this game. It's just the price that we're getting at. I mean, who would have think that we'd see them here at nearly a minus 310 here on the money line? Lucas Giolito, though, you touched on it, man. I mean, we've backed him in times this year. I backed him on the under in some games. I backed him on the money line in some spots, and he's made us cash despite the last couple of years kind of going downhill. I guess that makes sense with this pitching coach. He's found something, and he's showing it on the field right now. And the Boston Red Sox, surprisingly, 3 games over 500 right now. They have been playing some of the shittier teams, but you still have to beat the shitty teams. At the end of the day, you still have to beat these guys. It's still a major league ball club. But we're seeing the Red Sox here at a minus. They're going to take care of business. This is a parlay piece with maybe another thing on the board later on. I'm not really sure, but I do think that the Red Sox are going to win this ball game. I'm not going to move on. I'm on the run line, though, and it's just too expensive. So I'm going to stay off this game. We've got 6 games left, and I've got 5 plays in the next 6 games, guys, so I'm looking forward to that. But as far as this game goes, it's going to be a pass for me unless I can find another parlay piece with the Red Sox. I just don't think I'm going to be able to find it today so far. So I probably will end up passing on it. But shout out to the Boston Red Sox, man. I mean, they're playing some good ball going into the All-Star break. That's what you want to do. They trade away their best hitter, and they're still playing well. And you mentioned it, though. Chapman, Duran, and I don't know, Bregman. I know Bregman's been in a lot of talks right now.
No, Wine, just don't bring his name into trade rumors, please.
But Chapman, I can definitely see him going somewhere, but we'll see. Jalen Duran as well. I mean, depending on what you can get for these guys, if you can get a Joe Ryan for Jalen Duran in a heartbeat, right? I mean, Jalen Duran's good, but he's not. I don't think he's ever.
You're in basketball mode right now, Wine time, calling him Jalen Duran.
Oh yeah, my bad, Duran. Yeah, you're all right.
Jaren Duran.
Shout out to
you're in basketball. You're thinking Detroit basketball right now. You're ready.
No, but yeah, I do think the Red Sox are alive, Jose. You should be happy with what your ball team's doing right now. So, keep it rolling, Red Sox.
Yeah, I hope so. I stare at my Red Sox futures every day. It's the fucking first thing I see.
You almost threw that away, Jose. You almost threw that right in the trash about a month ago, I feel like.
I'm an emotional person. I overreact to things.
I'll never forget when Nasty Nate, he was talking about a first 5, and he was saying, I got to take my ticket back together because he thought he was going to automatically lose the bet, and he ended up getting a casher. So shout out to Nasty Nate. But yeah, nothing for me in this game.
Let's roll on, fellas. Let's roll on to Great America Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Sandy Alcantara going up against Andrew Abbott. Alcantara has been horrific this year and really affected his trade value. 83 Fahrenheit, feels like 89, 3.6 miles per hour out to left field, dies down to 1.8 miles per hour. Shout out to Wags in the house. Welcome addition, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Let's get into Ballpark Pals expectation. Great America Ballpark plus 16%, plus 31% home runs, plus 1% doubles and triples, and minus 2% singles. Let's touch on the line history here for Marlins Reds. Let me get this over here. These Miami Marlins, well, we'll start with the total. 8.5 minus 118 to the over. This opened up minus 118 to the over. So very little movements, all being within 10 cents. It's never really gone higher than minus 119, but it did drop down to, well, I guess it dropped 11. It got down to minus 107, the over at one point. But we're right back from whence. So get into the money line here. We have the Reds minus 136. And that's exactly where they opened, to the cent, both total and money line exactly where they open. So let's see what the cash flow indicates. 73% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on the Reds, and this line is not moving. And we have the similar situation happening in the Yankees game. Fascinating. From a total perspective, we have 64% of tickets and 78% of cash on the under. This total is not moving. Alcantara coming off a poor start at home, 6-5 loss against the Brewers, 6 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs. He's a 7.01 ERA and a 1.44 whip this year. It's amazing because, he's only allowed 11 home runs in 86 innings. He's just getting hit around the ballpark. On the road, he's allowed 43 hits and 31 2/3. It's amazing. I mean, he's not that old. It's amazing that this is happening to the former Cy Young winner. 35 earned runs and 31 2/3 on the road. I mean, the K to walk ratio, 27-17. Opponents on the road are hitting 331 against him. Lefties, 245, 771. Righties, 282, 756. So it doesn't matter what side of the plate you're on, you're going to hit them. Andrew Abbott has been spectacular, but he wasn't in that last start at the Phillies 9-6 win, though. But he allowed 4 earned runs over 3 1/3. He's allowed at home in this offensive ballpark just 10 earned runs in 8 starts. Now, 7 home runs he's allowed, though, at home. So he's being barreled at times, but God, it seems like no ducks on the pond when he does get barreled. Taking down lefties and righties at a similar rate. Marlins versus lefties 239, 691, while the Reds versus righties 241, 676. And this Marlins bullpen is pitching very, very well right now. Very, very well. Reds bullpen is struggling. Wine Time Sports, Marlins Reds, take it away.
Oh, yeah. I moved on the Marlins last night. I got a plus 130 on the money line. I'm backing Sandy Alcantara here in this spot. And a move I haven't really been making this season at all. I've been sitting on the sideline on a lot of his games, just waiting for him to have some positive output, pitch better, and he hasn't really been doing it. I mean, sitting here, his ERA is still a little bit over 7. I think he still has some decent stuff here, and I think this is a lineup he can go out and pitch pretty well against. You guys know me. I'm not a big fan of this Cincinnati Reds lineup by any means. I think this is a lineup he can go out there, have a get-right spot for him. Seen a lot of these bets and percentages coming on the Reds. We're not seeing this line move. Got the Marlins yesterday at a plus 130, currently sitting at a plus 125 right now at the same book. I love the Marlins here today. It might just be as well because this is one of the teams that I've been backing consistently like 5 days a week these last couple of weeks. The Miami Marlins, they've been making so much money for backers so far. I mean, I even said last week on the show, this team isn't going to be a playoff team by any means, but they're going to learn how to win. These guys are learning how to win, and they're, 5 to 6 games under 500 right now? It's absolutely crazy how good a baseball they're playing. Sandy's going to get it going at some point, especially if he wants to get out of Miami. I'm not sure if he does. He hasn't really came out about that, and with his numbers right now, I don't really know who would want him. But at the same time, he still has some good stuff. We've seen him dominate at times. I know not really these last 2 years or so. He's coming off that injury. But I think this is a good spot for the Marlins and for Sandy Alcantara to go out there and dominate this Reds lineup. Going to need 6 innings out of him. Like this bullpen that the Marlins are putting together. I like this bullpen. And if they can hold it together for those last 2 or 3 innings after a solid start by Sandy, if Sandy can go in there and give us 6 to 7 innings of 2 earned run baseball, I'll take that all day long. I'll trust the Marlins bats to get me 3 or 4, and I'll trust their bullpen to hold it down. And if it's a tie game, when it's towards the end of the game, I mean, who are we live betting? The Marlins every single time. This team has heart later in the game. Miami Marlins plus 130. This is going to be down to a plus 120 before first pitch here. I love this spot for the Marlins.
TJ saying Dodgers down to minus 137.
Wow, that's crazy.
He's going to pull the trigger at that number here. Lex Steele says Reds not to bat the 9th. Our guy Jonathan Yim in the house. We're gonna go back to those 2:00 games. You still have 10 minutes before first pitch. While we're on this Marlins Reds, let's hear Jose's breakdown. Jose, are you moving on Marlins Reds?
White Sox, fucking Toronto, I think is delayed.
Yeah,
so that's shitty already. But yeah, I'm on the Marlins here. I'll take the hot fish as well. I got plus 131. Let me double check just now. But yeah, all that money on the other side, my Reds that I've liked all year, minus 126, excuse me. I've liked all year, and I just, I was on them yesterday, the Marlins, and it was an easy casher. Marlins are hot right now. I just saw the 11 straight road wins for them, and the market seems like it. And I think this is like, if you're on the Marlins, this is the time to play well, because you're right on the doorstep of the trade deadline, and you want to go somewhere else, and you want to compete. So I think Sandy pitches well here, and for my guy Spoon's sake, I really hope he goes to Chicago for you. And I think that will get done, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I just don't know how Sandy can be trusted, but the market sure is telling you guys it's a play. I mean, I cashed with you guys on the Marlins yesterday, but I mean, it's a very strange situation with, the extreme dichotomy between these two starting pitchers. Statistically, 93% of cash on the Reds, and this line's not moving.
Yeah.
So I certainly understand it. Let's touch on these 2 p.m. games for our guy, Johnny M. Johnny, I had almost the Dodgers first 5.5 queued up, and I let it go with this late move towards the Brewers. But in the other game, Jose is on the White Sox first 5 -105, and wine time is on the under 8.5 in Toronto, Chicago. We have a lot of White Sox backers, way more than I expected. And I thought of the first 3 under 2.5, but it should have been more expensive if the line goes from 8.5 to 8. It should have been more than -125. I mean, again, we compared it to a couple games yesterday, and there was a game that was only a little bit stronger to the under. That's 40 cents more expensive, and that cashed very easily. No runs were scored in the first 3, so I have stayed off of both these 2 games. And again, I'm sort of beating myself up for. I told you guys, the Fever were, Ron and I were talking about at halftime when he thought Fever were going to smash +3.5. I waited till they're +8.5, but I even said out loud, making a live bet against the sharp action because of the difference in the opening line odds. I have a negative ROI on it, and I'm saying it out loud again so I could just stop doing it. And again, fading the star player coming back. That all came to fruition there. But let's roll on, fellas. Johnny, would love to hear what you're moving on. Redbeard says Marlins been paying bills. They have been. I haven't been on them a lot, but I've been on them enough. And I see you guys both on them here. Let's roll on. We have David Festa and Cade Horton attacking here. Billy Friedrich adding Miami, Cincinnati, first 3 under 2.5 -110. Market-wise, I get it completely. Again, I just find it so difficult in these conditions to not. Now, Contra hasn't let a ton of home runs, just 11 in 86 innings, and that's the home runs that are expected here at Ballpark Pal. Plus 31% home runs, plus 16% overall. Let's get into Cubbies Twins. We're at Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Excellent work for those of you who were on Minnesota. Justin McKelvey has the Cubs team total over 4.5 at -121. JM saying he might live bet the Jays. I can understand that. And Redbeard saying he can't take the fish today. Chad Pickard says red spot. Sandy's a perfect pitcher for Reds to get their bats right. Let's talk about Cade Horton and the Cubbies. 3-2 is Cade so far this year. 4.15 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. He doesn't get strikeouts when you need him, but doesn't get barreled too often. 6 home runs allowed in 52 innings. Coming off a great start. An extra inning win versus the Guardians. On the road, he's pitched in 5 games. He started 4, and he's been hit hard. 23 2/3. He's allowed 30 hits, 16 earned runs, 309 opponent's batting average. And it's righties that have got to him in a big way. Take a look at the righty bats in this Twinkies lineup there. Buxton, Castro hit from the right side. That's 1-2. Larnach will DH. Well, we expect. This is just expected lineup. You have Correa, Brooks Lee, another switch that will hit from the right. And then Royce Lewis, right. Oh, Ryan Jeffers as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right-handed bats to attack Cade Horton. Robert Franklin on Cubs money line in the over 9. And Spooner says I'm on the Cubs, but it does make him a little nauseous to make the wager. Talk about David Festa, 5.48 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. Coming off 4-1 loss at the Marlins in Miami, allowed 4 earned runs over 6 innings, 7 Ks, 1 walk. Wasn't a horrible start. He has been really strong at home. Now, it's tricky. He's allowing a lot of hits. They're just not barrels. He's allowed 27 hits and only 3 home runs in 23 and 2/3 at home. 290 opponent's batting average, but again, he's just not getting barreled up. He gets hit harder by righties than lefties, not to an egregious amount. Cubs versus righties, 255, 802 OPS. They're hitting hard. Twins, 237, 03 OPS. And then the Twins bullpen is trash. Worst in Major League Baseball over the last 30 days. And the Cubbies bullpen pitching well. There's Deacon Mike talking about your Cubbies. I am saying the Cubs look pretty decent today, to be honest. So we'll hand this over to Jose, but let's take a look here at the line history for this spot. The Twinkies are minus 104. They opened up at minus 104 cents of movement towards the Twins. When we get to the total here is a 9.5. It's minus 112 to the under. This opened up at 9. It's moved up to 9.5. And when we get to the cash flow here, we have interleague action, 69% of the tickets and 54% of the cash on the Cubs, 53% of tickets on the under, and 74% of cash on the over. Here we go. Jose Bouquet, take it away. Cubbies Twins.
I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of pissed off I didn't bet the Twins yesterday, and I'm kind of taking that anger out on the Cubs. I'm kind of done with the Cubs. I want nothing to do with the Cubs. I have a lot more negative things to say about the Cubs, but half of the Cubs army is in the chat. Wine Time loves the Cubs, so I'll keep my mouth shut. I'll say this line's very suspicious. I think the Twins win today, but I'm not betting it, so I'll stay off.
I will be betting this one, guys. And in fact, I already have when I tweeted out my card late last night. I got this line when it opened up at Twins money line plus 100. Seen it about minus 105 here at most books right now. Some slight movement towards the Twins, but yeah, I was on the Twins yesterday, guys. It was just a very fishy spot. I mean, the Cubs we know how good the Chicago Cubs are and how good they're going to be, especially going into the postseason this year. Minnesota Twins on the other side. This isn't a postseason team. This team is not going to the postseason this year. With that being said here, I'm on the Twins. I think the Twins are live. I think this is another fishy line here at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think it's still Target Field, is it? Yeah, I think it's still Target Field. Yeah. The stadium, but this is a beautiful stadium too. I've been wanting to get out to Minneapolis and go to one of their games here when the Angels play them here in the next couple of years. Beautiful park out there. But with that being said here, I'm on the Twins. Yeah, I've been on the Cubs a lot this year, guys. I've also been on the opposite side of the Cubs, and I've gotten burnt in certain situations. I got the Twins yesterday. I think we got them at plus 120 or plus 125. Forgot off the top of my head, but now seeing them up to a minus 105 here. I like the Twins here in this spot at home. Probably get to the Cubs tomorrow, but for this game, I'm on the Twins here, guys. I got them on plus 100 last night. I think they're going to end up closing at around minus 110, minus 115. As long as we beat this line, move this closing line, and I think we have value with the Twins here today. So I'm on the Minnesota Twins money line plus 100. We're starting to get into all my action, so I'm excited. I really like the Twins tonight.
A part of my battle with betting the Twins today is because they put up all those runs yesterday, and I'm sure everyone saw that and the whole and I'm like, are the Cubs cheap because of that? But I agree wholeheartedly. People in the chat all over the Twins as well. I agree with everything people are saying. Why this line? I don't know. I haven't done a deep dive into Cade Horton, I guess, but I would expect this line to be minus 130. Chicago Cubs here. The fact that again it's not, it's very interesting.
Yeah, minimal, I think. I mean, you compare both of these lineups. I mean, the Cubs, they got a way better lineup than this Twins team. And I think we've got a pretty good matchup on the mound here. It's just the Cubs should be minimal minus 130 here, maybe even minus 140. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm on the Minnesota Twins here. They got us paid yesterday. They're going to get us paid again today.
Yeah, I'm with AM on the over. I'm going to move on the over.
That looks interesting.
I'm also, and finally I can get on the board, man. It's been a tricky card so far where I've just kind of stayed on the fence, but the over I'll be on here in Cubbies Twins. And I'm also going to be on the Twins first 5. It's a very funny situation for Festa at home. And I gave you the stats, for over the 5 home starts that he's had, but the first 4 starts, he allowed 4 earned runs in 19 innings. He looked very strong. Those came against the Tigers, the Mets, the White Sox, and the Rangers. Then Milwaukee destroyed him. His last 2 starts came on the road. 3 of his last 4 starts have come on the road. The Brewers destroyed him. 8 earned runs or 4 2/3, 12 hits. But you look at the numbers here, and I know there's been a slight move towards the Cubs in the first 5, about 5 cents. And, overall, there really hasn't been much of a move, which does surprise me when we know how much the bullpen has struggled for Minnesota. But in saying all this, I think that Festa can deliver. I think that the over is the play. And I trust Festa at home more than I trust Horton on the road. Now, Horton's coming off a great start.
I'm going to join you, Jimmy, on first 5 to add on to your point. The bullpen for the Twins is kind of used up here, by the way. Duran, Griffin, Jax, 2 guys that I expect to be traded as well. And Johan Duran, another pitcher I would give up maybe my left nut for. Great pitcher. I'm a big Johan Duran guy. Same with Griffin Jax too. But Duran yesterday was sick, so he wasn't available. Jax 22 pitches. Stewart 6, Sands 12, Columbine 17. I like Louis Varland. He's decent enough, and I don't think. He's not going to be feeling great today, Duran. So I'll take a sick Duran as well. That is more reasons for me not to go on full game. So I'll join your first 5 Minnesota Twins.
Okay, nobody's questioning whether Kate Horton's going to be a quality pitcher in Major League Baseball. He's 23 years old. It's hard to get past these 2 road starts that he's had. He started at Detroit and at Houston. He's totaled 9 innings. He's allowed 15 hits and 11 earned runs. And
2 really good teams, though.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Redbeard just moved on the Dodgers. First 5 minus a half. And JM's thinking Festa is going to get touched. So Twins first 5 in the over for me. And I think I can wait until the end of the show to bet it. Let me know. The total has gone from 9 to 9.5. You still can pay for that 9, which also does appeal to me. All right. Well, at least we're starting somewhere here for me. It's been a while to find action that I trust enough. All right, let's roll on. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Pittsburgh Pirates at the Kansas City Royals, Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. We got a couple lefties here on the bump. Bailey Falter and Chris Bubich. Let's roll. Oh, and Angel Reese now questionable for this guy tonight. Wow. I guess I should have already moved on Dallas. I guess if she's not getting boards, they're just going to look horrific out there. Kia Nurse running the floor. All right, let's get into the weather here in Kansas City. Very frustrating giving money back. Cash first 3 under and the full game under. Though it was 3-3, and at that point, you're a lot of those under 8s are going to lose when it goes to extras. But it didn't go to extras, but it did cost me the Pirates money line. Weather-wise in Kansas City, we have 92 Fahrenheit. Feels like 94, 5.4 miles an hour out to left field. Stays at 5.4 miles per hour. Let's get into the Ballpark Pal expectation here. Ballpark Pal has, where are we here? Kauffman plus 6%, minus 11% home runs, plus 18% doubles and triples, and plus 6% singles. We have line history wise for this one, and I'm not afraid to go back to the well here, although I haven't moved on anything yet. I'm on first 5. Let me just quickly move over to a full game. So we have Bubich and the Royals sitting at minus 179. Some books are as high as minus 200, but this opened up minus 185 with a slight move, a very tiny move to the Pirates, or maybe just a tightening of VIG for the books. And then from a total standpoint here, we have an 8.5 minus 113 to the under. This opened up minus 109 to the under. So we have 4 cents of movement towards the under. Both these teams are struggling against lefties. Pirates versus lefties, 228, 647 last 30 days, while the Royals are 241, 694. Take a look at the cash flow here for interleague action. 92% of tickets on the under and 87% of cash. A lot of money on the under. 84% of tickets and 89% of cash on the Kansas City Royals. So very little movement here for all of that cash. AM says favorable, pretty favorable hitting weather. 8.5 total makes sense even with these two bad offensive teams. Robert Franklin on the under 8.5. Chad Pickard on Royals money line and Pirates under 3.5 in his pocket. Says both cash yesterday and going right back to the well. So let's talk about Bailey Falter. 6-4, 3.69 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. He's allowed 12 home runs this year. 8 of them have come on the road where he has struggled. His last start was at Seattle. He allowed 4 runs, only 3 of which were earned, or 5 2/3. Didn't walk a batter. And his splits are fine, right? He's just 217, 688 against him. Chris Bubich has got excellent splits as well, right? He's just 225, 615 OPS against him. I mean, it's no surprise Bubich has been great this year. 2.36 ERA, 1.15 WHIP. He's allowed just 6 home runs over 103 innings. He's coming off a 9-3 win at the Diamondbacks, and he allowed 3 earned runs over 7 innings. He's been very, very good. The bullpens, the Pirates bullpen has been excellent. Best in Major League Baseball over the last 30 days, but it cost me yesterday. Royals bullpen has been good here. Troy Torrance says first 3 under, full game under, or Pirates team total under. Says database says under. Royals dominant at home, priced as favorites of -170 or more. Huge trends to the under in Kansas City. Royals have the best ROI against teams under 500. 2 competent pitches and 2 of the worst offenses versus left-handed pitching. Wager Detective saying the Pirates are off tomorrow so they can really, maybe hit some bullpen pieces a little harder than usual. Wine Time Sports, take it away, Pirates, Royals.
Yeah, I was on the under 8 in this spot yesterday, and yeah, I thought that bullpen was going to give it up late for us. I was almost going to throw the ticket away in the trash. I figured it was going to go into extra innings. Thankfully, they got it done in the bottom of the 9th to save that under by a run. I think we got it on the under 8, and it was a 8-4-3 game. I like both these pitches on the mound. I like everything that Troy said in the chat as well about the under. I kind of want to go back to the well with it, but we're seeing all this money on it. Slight movement. I got it yesterday. The line was under 8.5, -105. Now it's -110. So just 5 cents on my book. Seeing sidewise, I mean, the Royals are still -185 here on my book, currently sitting. Pittsburgh Pirates a +170 on the money line. It's going to be a pass for me, although I do like the under. It's just because I like both these pitchers, and I do think both of them can do well. 2 lefties on the mound against these lineups. 2 offenses that I'm not high on by any means. I'm not high on this Royals offense. I'm not high on this Pirates offense. It does seem like an under spot, but it might be a little bit too good to be true because we were getting an 8 yesterday, and now we're getting an 8.5. So if this would have been an 8 again, I probably would have moved on the under. But since it's an 8.5, I'm going to end up staying away from this game. Maybe there's runs scored later on after both these starters come out. But you touched on it. I mean, the Pirates bullpen has been lights out up until yesterday. So it's too tough for me. This is the last pass on the board for me, I believe. So this is going to be a pass for me. I do have a lean towards the under. And yeah, it's not going to be official though. I got my money with it yesterday. I didn't think I was going to get it as the game went on. So I'll take my money and run in this series.
I hammered that under. Well, I had 2 units on the under because I had the first 3 in the full game yesterday. And it was very, very different market-wise. Interestingly enough, the books that put it out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, they put that at 8.5. When the books came out at 7, they put it at 8. It closed at a 7.5 and a legit 7.5.
Yep.
I mean, the books were telling us.
Oh, for sure.
They're not telling us here. Now, Troy is telling us, and that can be just as good. His the market efficiency database is telling us that this is where under's cash. In saying that, you know what? I'm almost 500 bets into the season, and I need it to correlate. I just can't. I have a certain system that I really need. And some days, like you see yesterday, I'll have 15 bets, and some days, like today, it seems harder to find them, and that's okay. And I need to keep telling myself that's okay. Jose, take it away. Pirates Royals.
It's a stay off game for me, but I will say I think Chris Bubich will be a fade in the second half of the season, and I look forward to doing that. So I'm off this game. I lean to your guys' side. I will say, next 2 days, keep an eye out for the pitchers. They're pitching today, tomorrow, that are all-star game, because we're about 5 games out from the all-star game. These are the guys that will probably end up pitching in the all-star game. So I assume Chris Bubich will pitch in the all-star game. It'll probably be his first. Well, it's definitely his first all-star game, but I expect him to pitch in the all-star game, and I think he'll get Tanner Houck and then stuck in the second half of the season. So no action for me today, but just keep an eye out for these pitchers going the next few days. Anyone that goes from the 11th on, probably the 12th on more likely, probably does not go starting pitching wise in the all-star game. So just make those notes, but nothing for me.
Just my 2 cents. Pirates money line is the play of the day for him. Play of the day. TJ says Pittsburgh's dead last for the 4-seamer and the slider. That's 73% of Bubich's pitch mix. Bubich shoves here under all the way. Says Casey's 25th versus the 5-seamer and the slider. That's 63% of Falter's pitch mix. Jose, if that's the case, I'd like to compare so if you guys remember, I bet those bets before I came to the show, and the 2.5 was a -130 when I bet it. When it came to the show, it was a -135. Can you touch on the relief fatigue here of these 2 bullpens that have been pretty trustworthy?
Sure. White Sox is about to start now, thankfully. So my first side bet.
There we go.
Rocking and rolling here. Let's go White Sox. Let's go, Billy. But bullpen fatigue for the Pirates or the Royals? I'm sorry.
Both.
I will tell you now, the Royals, Estevez pitched 11, got the win yesterday. Ursig, 22 and a blown save. Everyone else, except for Angel Zerpa, had their day off. So fully rested bullpen aside for Ursig, who I don't expect to go today. As for Pittsburgh, Dennis Santana, 25. Other than that, everyone else is fresh and ready to go. Bednar threw 4 pitches, not yesterday, but the day before. Isaac Matson, 2. Caleb Ferguson, 1. So only 1 guy unavailable for each, if that.
Yeah, TJ says they're both in great shape. This first 3 is juice to the over. TJ is a hugely successful MLB capper, and his edges that he has here make perfect sense. And just hearing them, I would agree, but I've got to stick to what has got me in the black here, and that's with everything correlating and the market showing concern. So as much, and honestly, with TJ's breakdown there of why this is going to go under, I mean, that's just. How do you not join him on it? But I've got to stick to what I need to correlate, so I'll move past it. AOD, thank you, my man. Let's roll on. Let's roll on to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Andre Palante pitching very well. I did not expect it, and I believe about 4 starts back or 5 starts back, I was like, I think Palante is going to start getting touched. That's not been the case. By the way, Troy Torrance says the Pirates have averaged 2 runs in this market type on the road this season. Only 1.25 runs a game if the market moved in their direction. Wow. That's wild. Okay, let's roll here with Nationals, Cardinals. Start with the weather in St. Louis. 89 Fahrenheit, feels like 93, 4.5 miles per hour in. It's left to right. It's slightly in. Stays at 4.5 miles per hour. Let's get into a ballpark's pal's expectation of Busch Stadium. It's the second lowest on the board, -7% overall, -5% homers, -11% doubles and triples, and +3% singles. Mackenzie Gore and Andre Palante facing off in this one. We'll touch on this line history. The Jays got their first runner on here, and it looks like Glasnow is going to close to shutting down Milwaukee early. And that ended up closing at 8. There was a pretty big move towards the under in Dodgers Milwaukee late. So fascinating. All right, let's get into the line history here. We have an 8 here in juice to the under -116. This opened up at 8. The books that were, you can't call them fearless because they have real limits. But the books that came out early in the afternoon had the 8.5 heavily juiced to the under. By the time it came out at 7:05 p.m., it's very slightly juiced to the over 8. Then it moves to 7.5. It moves to 7.5 at 8:30 a.m. and it stays there basically until 1:20 p.m. And then when it goes back to 8, it goes right back to 7.5. And now we're back at 8. So basically, you can get a juiced over 7.5 or a juiced under 8. Regardless, at the number of 8, there's been an 11-cent move towards the under, which is a pretty legitimate. On the money line here for Palante Gore, we have the Cards at minus 126. They open up minus 112, 14-cent move towards the Cardinals. And I think you can explain the opening line. Mackenzie Gore is a very strong pitcher. The Cards are not hitting lefties at all. I don't think that because it was, close to a pick 'em that, that they were trying to fish out Cardinal bets, because pretty easy to say that the better pitcher on the mound is Mackenzie Gore. 3.11 ERA, 1.21 whip. And again, the Cards aren't hitting lefties. But the Nats aren't hitting righties, 253, 692. Now they're hitting harder than the Cards hit lefties. Mackenzie Gore on the road has been not as good as he's been at home. 280 opponents batting average, 10 starts, 55 and a third. Lefties, righties, his splits are very strong. The Chilla says the Cards here. Loyalty Chisel says overthinking is a killer in this industry. I've said often that I don't agree with the whole think long, think wrong. I don't. I think the longer, but we've talked about that, and I understand that idea. Loyalty Chisel sometimes that it maybe helps some cappers simplify things. For me, the longer I can spend capping, the higher my ROIs. Because especially in baseball, when you can keep uncovering angles. But I hear what you're saying. Palante 5-4, 4.10 ERA. He's coming off a beautiful start. He's been pitching
double play.
That was huge. That was
Still got to run at third, but
fat ass Flatty rolling into a double play.
Did you see the shortstop take his sweet time in the second baseman? He caught that ball and just lobbed it over to first base.
It wasn't even the picture when the ball got over there.
Wow, big one for you guys. Good luck. Go get it. Palante, 8 home starts, 20 earned runs, but he's been pitching better and better. Still 262 opponents batting average. And it's righties that get to Palante. He's shutting down lefties, but righties are hitting 282 with an 801 OPS. Remember, we've talked about this so often. It's the lefties you got to worry about, not the righties. The Abrams, Wood, Garcia, Lowe, and then Josh Bell with a switch. But that opening 4 are left-handed bats. So if it's righties that you're vulnerable against, you should be able to shut down the Nationals. Everything I'm looking at here, except for the Nationals bullpen, tells me that this game is going to go under. I just like to go over that cash flow one more time. 67% of the tickets, 87% of cash on the under. We've seen it drop. 53% of the tickets on St. Louis, but 64% of cash on the Nationals. This is an interesting one here. Jose Bouquet, take it away.
Yeah, the market's seemingly saying Nationals. The market's seemingly saying Cardinals here with that 15-cent move-ish, depending on obviously where you look. I'm going to stay off and just watch this one and see what happens. Like you mentioned, the Cardinals are not good against lefties, and Mackenzie Gore has arguably been the second best lefty in baseball here. So I stay off. I think that the Cardinals end up winning this game, but it's very interesting that we've gotten here. It seems like this might be one of those games where Gore pitches well. He pitched 6 strong innings, and the bullpen comes and fucks it all up for him. So first thing I thought of was obviously the 2 most dreaded words in this program's summer, I guess. I wouldn't say history, but the summer. It's first 5 under. So no thanks for me here, but I'll stay off.
Yeah, Remo said he sees. I don't see any 8.5s across the board here in this spot. I only see an 8, and it's juiced to the under.
It's got to be talking about a different game, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got to, because I saw this. It went to a 7.5. It's back up to an 8 right now. This was never at an 8.5 from what I've seen, but I could be wrong. At least from what I'm looking at, but I don't see that. guys, this is one of the games that I got crushed on the line movement because I was on the Washington Nationals last night at minus 110. They're now up to a plus 123 on the money line here. It's backing my guy Gore. You guys know I like backing this guy. He hasn't been super profitable for me as of late. I know he's been pitching well, but it just doesn't seem the bats don't show up for him when he goes out there and just goes boom, boom, boom. He goes lights out for those first couple innings. He doesn't really give the time for the hitters to adjust going up there. It seems like they haven't been hitting for him. We've got a righty on the mound, Palante, who's actually been pretty serviceable this year. I like Palante. I like from what I've seen from him from the eye test too. His numbers are pretty good as well. And I think this line's telling, guys. I'm going to come in here and give you guys the Nationals money line because that's what I took last night. I already bet it and I tweeted it out. But I would tell you to only lean towards the Cardinals here in this spot now, looking at it. I mean, they're up to a minus 133 right now. You've got the much better pitcher on the mound in Mackenzie Gore, if you ask me. I mean, he's an all-star this season. Even though James Wood was an all-star, you only need one representative, but they got both of these guys in the all-star team. C.J. Abrams definitely potentially deserving as well, but he won't get there. With that being said here, I think the Cardinals, I would only talk you guys into the Cardinals. I would not tell any of my friends to take the Nationals after losing this much juice towards the Cardinals. It just doesn't make any sense. The Nationals should be favored in the spot despite being the worst record because they've got a much better pitcher on the mound. Maybe not the favorite, but I would think like it should be minus 110 both ways. But seeing the Cardinals, this much line movement towards them, I lean towards the Cardinals, and I also lean towards the under. I think the under is probably the best play on the board here in this game, rather than a sidewise, because I'm not gonna like void my bet and take the Cardinals on the other side by any means. I'm gonna stick with the Nationals. They made me money this season, but I might add the under. I can get the under. I can still get an 8 at minus 120, and I kind of like that. But I was seeing 7.5, so seeing it go back up to an 8 worries me. But with both these pitchers on the mound, if the Nationals aren't going to win this game, they're not going to score many runs. So, which makes me think that this game could go under here in this spot with both these pitchers on the mound. So I'm on the Nationals, guys, bottom line, but I lost a lot of line movement in this. I'm still going to stick to my bet, though. It's already pending in there. So give me the Washington Nationals money line minus 110, but you can get a plus 123, plus 125 at some other books.
That's interesting, Rem. Yeah, I can't, I don't mean to say anything negative, but the eights right now are very juiced to the under, and there are some 7.5s on the board. The only 8.5 that I ever saw was, I guess you're right. You could have got an under 8.5 minus 125. Around 6:45, 7 this morning at a couple books before it moved to 8, then 7.5 and back to 8. Well, I still fear this Nationals bullpen, but it does feel like an under here. Now, I could take the first 3, but I'll have to turn into a 2. That's what it should be with this number. Remember, we talked about the J spot. I believe it was the J spot, or was it the Tiger spot? I can't remember now, but so I want the first 3 under, but I'm gonna have to build it into a 2, and I'm okay with that. Then do I add the full game under? Jose, do you mind going over the bullpen situation for both squads?
The Cardinals, I'll tell you right now, Cardinals, Ryan Hensley, 20 pitches and a save yesterday. Probably available, but might be dicey. 13 for Phil Maton, Jojo Romero, 22, Steven Matz, 22. I don't expect Matz to be available. And Jojo and Ryan Hensley kind of go back and forth. They haven't gone on back-to-back days this whole week, so probably available here, but just a little doubtful, or I don't love backing pitchers like that. Nationals bullpen is fully ready to go. Andrew Chafin, 8 pitches. Mason Thompson, 16. Finnegan hasn't thrown in 2 days. Basically, half their bullpen hasn't thrown in 2 days, so they'll be ready to go.
Hensley is everything. He makes everything look difficult. For a closer now, he's got 19 saves. Every ball goes to the warning track.
The opposite of Duran, a hard-throwing guy that makes everything look easy. Duran makes everything look the fucking easiest thing in the world. Hensley is just a sweat every time you go out there. Who knows if he's throwing strikes that day?
Well, let's roll on. We have one of my favorite pitchers here, Slade Ciccone, throwing for the Tribe. And we haven't seen much of Slade this year. And as I was hoping, he looks stronger and stronger and stronger as the season has gone on. He had 2 straight home starts, and he didn't look as dominant. But if you go back to his last couple road starts, they were in the Bay Area. He went against the Giants and the Athletics. I guess, God, Athletics aren't in the Bay Area anymore. We had to go Sacramento. But still, 12 innings. He allowed 10 hits, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts, 4 walks. I think he's getting better with every start. Slade Ciccone going up against Brandon Walter, the lefty who's coming off a tough performance at the Rockies. Justin McKelvey here on the over 1.5 bases for Altuve. Let's get into the weather to get us started here. Oh, I guess we don't need to. It's in Houston. Okay, sorry, my bad. Let's get into the line history then here. This total is, there are some 7.5s on the board. I'm looking at a 7.5 at a pick'em, a legit 7.5. It's all 7.5s. This opened up at 7.5. It was minus 115 to the over. So the under 7.5 has taken 8 cents. The interesting part of that is that it's gone up to 8 several times. It opened up at 7.5, 7:07 p.m. By 1 a.m. It was an 8. Maybe not the most legit 8. It went back 7.5. Then at 7:30, it was a real 8. So it was a real 8 from 7:30 until 10:40 a.m. It's been a 7.5 since, and the under has taken some money. Let's take a look at the money line here for this spot. I wonder if at what point. I wonder if Dodge. I guess that last move from 8.5 to 8 maybe should get me off of it. But maybe if there's no run scored again here in the second inning that we have interest in. Oh no! Now there's 2 runners on for the Brewers. Okay, from a money line standpoint, we have the Astros minus 146. They opened up at minus 136, so 10 cents of movement towards the Houston Astros. And cash flow wise here, we have 81% of the tickets on Houston, but just 56% of the cash. Also, you have 56% of tickets on the under and 75% of cash on the over. So big bets coming in on the over, although we're not seeing that here. It's all good, Rem. No, it's all this information is very important, man. It's all good. So let's talk about the Astros. First off, 32-16 at Daikin Park, and the Guardians, have been struggling very, very much here. Chad Pickard says you got to look up Gore's numbers against the Cards. The Cards actually touch him up. Says that would explain the live movement. Yes, it looks like that, Chad. I did hear hesitate. Rob Free says here comes the bad glass now. So I will go over the Gore's numbers against the Cards, despite the fact the Cards aren't hitting lefties right now, but I'll go over that, and that's important. Thank you, Chad. And Spooner says Houston has a day off tomorrow, and Guardians have a divisional series for them. So Slade Ciccone, 3-4, 3.56 ERA, 1.31 WHIP. I've always been high on him. They gave up a lot for him this year. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. There were solo shots and a 2-1 loss at home versus the Tigers. On the road, he's had 5 starts. He's allowed 8 earned runs. Opponents hitting 238 against him. 28 innings. He's walked 8 batters. But lefties have gotten the Slade Ciccone this year. Slade Ciccone is allowing lefties to hit 290 with an 878 OPS. There is not a single lefty in this lineup. Now, Caratini and Hummel are switchies. This is a perfect lineup for Slade. Perfect lineup for Slade. Brandon Walter
underwritten all over it, huh?
I guess that's where we're going here. Let me just go back to that total here quickly, because it bounced numerous times from 7.5 to 8, but it's gone to 7.5 of late. I mean, that's a very low number for these teams. Now, the Guardians aren't hitting lefties, so can we trust Brandon Walter? Brandon Walter's not looked very good on the road, but at home he's had 2 starts. He's allowed 2 earned runs. He hasn't walked a batter in 12 2/3 at home. Now, righties hit him harder than lefties, but that's what you expect from a left-handed pitcher. Guardians versus lefties is 216, 642 OPS, and the Astros smash righties 216, 642. Astros bullpen's been much better than the Guardians bullpen. Very, very, very interesting spot here. I've lost track of the order here. So, but we got Angels coming up next. So let's go with Jose to hit lead off, and one time will hit lead off for the Angels game. Jose, take it away. Guardians, Astros.
Yeah, it's definitely an under kind of game. The Guardians against lefties are horrific. If you want a from the 16th to today split, 310 plate appearances, 70 weighted runs created plus. Only teams behind them are the Giants, the Mets, and the Cardinals for being bad against lefties. So, like, it's just I think this is just under. But then you look at the markets, that total going up and down. I'm a little sketched out by 56% of the bets on the under, 75% of the money on the over. That sketched me out a little bit. But I lean under for sure. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Let's hear from you, Wine Time. Take it away, Astros Guardians.
Yeah, I'm on the Cleveland Guardians here in this spot, guys. This was actually another spot that they beat me on the line movement. I'm losing it by near about 10 cents right now. They're currently sitting at a plus 137 now. Just refreshed it. I got a plus 125 last night on the Cleveland Guardians. I like Cinconi here in this matchup. I'm with you guys. I lean towards the under as well. It's kind of going up and down on the 7.5 and 8. I'm really curious to see what this is going to close at. Right now, they're giving me an 8 towards the under at minus 120. I like the under here in this spot, but I like the Guardians more. I did lose some value in here, but I think that this is a good spot for the Guardians going for the sweep here against the Astros. Guardians were playing some really bad baseball, especially offensively. Just really couldn't get it together. They really need guys like Jose Ramirez and Carlos Santana and Steven Kwan to start stepping it up. If they're going to try to make a postseason run this year, they got to get that batting order together. They got to make – I don't know if they're going to do any trades. They really usually don't do that, but they need another bat in that order. But the time is running out for these Cleveland Guardians here. I think they're in desperation mode here. I'm on the Cleveland Guardians money line. Even though it moved against me, I still like this spot here for the Guardians against Brandon Walter. I do think it's going to be a lower scoring affair as well, but I think the Guardians could come out on top in a lower scoring affair. If this goes over the total, I don't think the Guardians are going to be able to hang in this game, but I think Slate and Coney can go out there and give us a good 6 innings, hopefully. Solid baseball, and the Guardians can do their part. Hopefully they can get 3 or 4 runs on the board for us. And if they get 3 or 4 runs on the board today, that might be all they need to win this game. So I'm on the money line plus 125. You can get a better number pretty much everywhere right now. I still like it, even though it's moved against me. I didn't really like the Nationals line against me, but I like this one. I still stand by this Cleveland Guardians game. I still like the Guardians here in this spot, despite the line movement. I think it's going to come down to earth a little bit. We're going to probably see some plus 130s here shortly, but that still remains to be seen. Talking about right now, plus 137. I still think there's value with the Guardians here and Slade and Coney. So give me the Guardians. I got them plus 125 last night. So write me down for plus 125 on the money line.
You are in business. Guardians at plus 125. Chad nailed it with even Busch Stadium has been just a house of horrors for Mackenzie Gore. And we're not talking. I was hoping I'll look up and we'll have to go back to 2022, but that's not the case. He's been hit this year and last year by the Cards. I know they're not hitting lefties, but hard to not pay attention to that. Every year. St. Louis just gets to him. This lineup isn't so different from those other lineups. That's going to give me second thoughts on the unders in Nationals Cardinals. That's disappointing, but very important, Chad. Thank you for that. Wine Time moving on the Guardians. AM agreeing. We also, though, have DC Capper on the Astros, and TJ says that he's fairly comfortable with the Astros on the -1 line. This is a really nice lineup for Slade. So should we be uncomfortable with that these young batters have got to right-handed pitching? These young fill-ins for the Astros have been hitting right-handed pitching hard. I'm not sure. And let's just take a look at what this first 3 under would cost right now. And then we can make that decision. Move over here. The first 3 under with Ciccone, Walter. We know the Guardians have struggled against lefties. The first 3 under is minus 130, which is very high for a 7.5. God, so much to think about. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking at this first 3 under. It's so funny how yesterday it's just every game we're firing away, and then really having a tough time. I think that this first 3 under is great. I think that the under is in play in this full game. I mean, Slade Ciccone is going up against a great lineup for him. The Brandon Walter is being pitching very good at home, and Guardians aren't hitting lefties. So maybe this should be that double up on the under. Okay, I will make these decisions here. Let's roll on. We're going to get Wine Time to lead us off here for Rangers, Angels, and Soriano again. I'm such a big fan of his, but I'm starting to see when he's susceptible. It was easy money last night. Rangers 45 and 47, 19-28 on the road. Angels 44 and 47, 21 and 21 at home. We're at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Let's get into the weather to get us started here. I have interest in Kumar Rocker pitching well here. And I really wanted to talk it out before I made the move. 85 Fahrenheit, feels like 83, 8.9 miles per hour out to center. So it's hot in LA. We know what happens when it gets hot in this ballpark and the wind's blowing out. We see a lot of offense. Angel Stadium's plus 5%, plus 17% home runs, minus 4% doubles and triples, and minus 1% singles. Let's get into the line history here. Oh, shit. Sorry. Let's get into the line history here for Angels Rangers. We have this total at a 9.5. It's not a real 9.5. I mean, there's a lot of 9s out there juiced to the over. This opened up minus 113 to the under at the 9. Got up to minus 113 to the over, and then there's a 9.5 up here, but it is plus 104 to the over at 9.5, but a move towards the over. Let's get to the money line here. On the money line, we have the Rangers minus 112. They opened up minus 125, so that's a clear sign that maybe I got the wrong pitcher here, that maybe it's Hendricks that will pitch well. We have a line move towards the Angels. Let's take a look at the cash flow. 50% of the tickets are on the Angels and 94% of cash on the Rangers. 94% of cash on the Rangers, and yet this line's moving towards the Angels. 65% of tickets on the under and 73% of cash on the under. This is one of those spots that I had talked about where you have very pedestrian. Now, again, it's very offensive weather, and that doesn't correlate, but 1-0 Jays at the top of 2 says Coin. Thank you. Let's talk about Kumar. 3-4, 5.80 ERA, 1.49 WHIP. He's allowed 2 earned runs over 5 1/3 in his last start, extra inning loss at the Padres. On the road this year, he's been horrible, but that was a good sign. And I know that San Diego's a pitcher's ballpark. Lefties are annihilating him. Lefties are hitting 340 with a 931 OPS. And we've talked about this one time. If lefties annihilate you, this is the team you want to pitch against. The Los Angeles Angels. We have Kyle Hendricks on the other side. 5-6, 4.68 ERA, 1.27 WHIP. 5 1/3 in his last start. He allowed 3 earned runs and an extra inning loss at the Jays. At home this year, he's been pretty good. Pretty good. 20 earned runs over 8 starts. He's allowed 7 home runs in those 8 starts. Points hitting 272. Maybe pretty good, a little too much. And it's righties that are hitting him very hard. 306, 878 OPS. And, of course, Smith, Seager, and Evan Carter are lefties. But you have Simeon, Garcia, Langford, Heim, Berger, and Higashioka are righties. Splits don't really work out for him. Spooner says Hendricks has made the shift from being a ground ball inducing guy to a guy that gives up a lot of fly ball contact. Today will play offensively. Rangers bats will get to him, in my opinion. So for Kyle, let's go with the Rangers hitting 252, 746 OPS for righties last 30 days, while the Angels 238, 718. Rangers bullpen's been very good. 2.94 ERA last 30 days, while the Angels has a 4.291. Take it away for us here. Wine time. Rangers against your Los Angeles Angels.
Yeah, Kyle Hendricks, I think his numbers lie to us a little bit. If you actually watch him go out there and pitch, it seems like every single outing he goes out there for this first 4 to 5 innings and gives up maybe 1 earned run. And in that 5th or 6th inning, becomes very vulnerable, seeing batting orders 3 times around. Obviously, when you have a fastball that can't go faster than 90 miles per hour, you know it's going to it's coming. He does hit his spots at times. I'm curious to see who's going to be catching him today, if it's d'Arnaud or O'Hoppe. I think d'Arnaud is going to be the guy behind the plate today catching him, and those are 2 very veteran players that have become really close friends since both signing with their hometown teams at later points in their career. They hang out a lot outside the field and stuff like that. And I think Hendricks could actually maybe pitch decent today, guys, probably for about 3 or 4 innings. But when he gets in that 5th or 6th inning, he's going to become vulnerable. I want to see him out of there after the 5th inning. Angels bullpen isn't as worse shape as it should be, because they let Kevin Newman go out there for 3 innings yesterday and pitch for them when they were completely out of the game. Jansen should be 100% ready to go. I know he had pitched in 3 out of the last 4 games, but he didn't throw more than 14 pitches in any of those outings and didn't look tired by any means. I thought he could have gone out there for 2 innings in that first game against the Rangers, how good he looked. You got Zephyr John. That's, he's been getting lit up a little bit at times, but you got guys like Brock Burke that should be ready to go. Guys like Reed Detmers. There's some cases why this guy's not an all-star. He hasn't given up an earned run in close to 2 months. This guy is absolutely insane. His ERA was over 10, I think May 7th, and you look at it now, it is almost in the mid-3s. This guy's pitching lights out, being the setup man. It's really the 7th or 8th inning time he comes in. He faces the top part of the order. That decides whether he's going to go in the 7th or 8th. But, we're seeing this total here on a hot day in Anaheim, guys. It's going to be hot down here, and we're going to see some wind blowing out, too. This is a very hitter-friendly day the more I look at this. If I would have thought that it was going to be this hitter-friendly weather yesterday, I would have been on the over as well. Very close to moving on the over here, because I got on the Angels last night at plus 120. They're currently sitting at a plus 105 at my book. Crush that line movement on these guys. I think they're telling us that, honestly, both these pitchers could maybe go out there and both get lit up here. We know Seager's an Angel killer. If it wasn't for the Angels, this guy's career numbers would not be as good as they are. Every time he faces the Angels, he crushes these guys every single time. It's absolutely wild to see his career numbers against the Angels. With that being said here, I'm on the Angels here, plus 120. They're down to a plus 105 on a lot of spots right now. I really induced the over here. I think we're going to see the over get to a 9.5 here. Probably very shortly in the next couple hours. I think there's going to be a lot of runs scored in this game, whether it's from both these teams, both these pitchers getting lit up early. Angels bullpen should be in better shape here. So that's why I'm a little hesitant on the over, other than the hitter-friendly weather at the ballpark today. I do like the arms that are going to be fresh out of that bullpen today for the Angels, but it's just how long can Kyle go out there for, Jim? That's my big question. He can't throw more than 5 innings. I think after the 5 innings, he's too vulnerable to give up runs. Once he starts walking guys and gives up a hit, he's just 1 pitch away from giving up a long ball, and that seems what's been happening later in these games. It's going to be a pass for me on the total, but we are on the Angels money line. I still endorse them at plus money. I think they're going to end up closing at like a minus 105 here today. I hope they do, at least going from that much of a dog to a favorite. I would love to see that. So Angels money line and a big lean towards the over. I think a lot of runs could be scored in this game.
Very interesting. I just because this is the lineup that Kumar Rocker should be good against. As Spooner is saying, if you watch Hendricks pitch, this should be the weather where he struggles. And yet this line is moved towards the Angels. By the way, the Blue Jays supposedly have an offer on the table for Reed Detmer right now.
What?
Yeah, that's the story that we've been told.
Do you know what the offer is, Jim, or no?
No, but
it's shit prospects, because he's fucking horrible. He's not a starting pitcher anymore.
Wait, Jose Reed Detmers is probably the best.
He's been unhittable.
He's the best relief pitcher in Major League Baseball the last 2 months.
Well, okay, well he's there. He's not a starting pitcher. Is where I'm going.
He'd be he's a lefty specialist. He hasn't allowed. His stats are insane.
I think it's since May 7th, Jim, where he's given up an earned run. May 7th, I think, are the numbers. It's crazy him going out there. He's so locked in right now. It was hard for him to get in the relief role, as it is for any young pitcher that has thrown a no-hitter in his career, being the youngest pitcher to ever throw a no-hitter for the Angels. I wish I was there. I was supposed to be at that game. My buddies took his son, and I wish I would have went to that one a couple years ago. But Reed Detmers has been flourishing in this role, and if we can get some good young prospects for it, I guess we'll take it at this point. But
knowing you guys though, you'll keep him for this playoff drive.
We'll hang
Right?
on to him,
Yeah, keep him for the big playoff drive.
Yeah, right.
But yes, that's the story is that we have an offer on the table right now that's being discussed or whatever. But wine time moving on the Angels at plus 120. Another game that just doesn't correlate properly with the way that I see things. Although the weather is we see what guys like Nutflush Allen. This is the time of year. Mid-July, it gets hot. You have a hot night, you have the wind blowing out, and it's just nonstop offense, even if the teams aren't really hitting. But these teams are sort of hitting. The Rangers are hitting 252, 746 OPS first righties. T. Moss, it is great to see you, my friend. Yes, it's baseball, and we deep dive Jose Bouquet. I wish the weather wasn't so offensive. And I wish I'm happy for wine time that the line's moving towards the Angels. But I kind of had a feeling that Kumar could pitch okay here. But maybe the weather is indicating that he can't. Again, when I talk about why this should be so good for Kumar, Shawnuel is the only lefty that's not a switch. Now you have Moncada and Rengifo. I mean, Rengifo should have already been traded. I don't know what the hell your fucking brass is doing. It makes no sense. The Angels hold on to players for way too long all the time. Rengifo is a perfect example of someone who could already be moved. But Jose, take it away. Rangers, Angels.
I am on the Angels here with you, wine time. I bet it's at plus 102. I agree with the underlook here, the overlook here. There is, and I'll just read off the market again for you guys. 52% of the bets now on Texas, 94% of the money on Texas. We move 15 cents towards the Angels, and 65% of the bets, 73% of the money on the under here. I know the weather is offensive here, and the line moving towards the over makes me want to bet the over, but I just chose the Angels instead. So Angels plus 102.
Angels plus 102. I just moved on the live over 5.5 in Dodgers Brewers.
All right, let's ride.
Live over 5.5 in Dodgers Brewers. I'm already down a unit. It's not live bets. Aren't 250. They're 200 in MLB, so it's not quite a unit. But so I just moved on the over 5.5 minus 135. And again, something also changes for me live betting where the VIG becomes less important because I think I'm taking advantage of situations. Again, we'll see how that plays out. But okay, let's roll on wine time on the Angels from last night, beating a line move. Jose moving on the Angels now, trusting the market, which maybe is what I should do. I mean, am I exaggerating that if lefties destroy you, the Angels are who you want to go up against? Am I pushing that?
I mean, it's for my thing, it's the weather. I just think it's too offensive weather here today. I mean, the wind blowing out on a hot day in Anaheim, it's going to be 6:30 around game time here. I just think both pitchers are vulnerable here to give up runs here. I hear what you're saying, though. And the Angels don't have any left. I mean, Nolan Shawnuel, the only true lefty. You got Rengifo and Moncada hit and switch. And Rengifo is definitely better from the right side. But I don't know. It does seem like it could be a lineup for Kumar Rocker, but with the weather and the line seeing a 9 juicy, I think it's going to get to a 9.5. I think if we're going to move on the over, we got to get on the over 9 because there's going to be 9.5s here very shortly, I think.
Okay. Let's roll on. We have 2 games left. God, this is becoming one of the hardest cards of the year all of a sudden. Okay, 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Jose will be hitting leadoff for Diamondbacks Padres. This is a game I really wanted to talk about. Now, the issue for me, obviously, is I'm a Brandon Pfaadt fan, and he's had the whole tipping his pitches issues as well. He's coming off 7-2 loss at home versus the Giants. He allowed 4 runs over 6 innings. Did strike out 8. He's not looked good on the road. He's not looked good at home. Lefties are hitting him hard. Righties are hitting him hard. He's not being very good. Dylan Cease, his numbers are very pedestrian, but you get him at home, he's pretty good. Really good. Over 45 2/3. He's allowed 5 home runs. He struck out 57. He's only walked 18. Opponents hitting 223 against him. He's had 8 home starts. He's allowed 14 earned runs. And we're all waiting for him to come on. We're all waiting for him to start pitching really well. And maybe this is the situation. Let's talk about the weather here in San Diego. 76 Fahrenheit, feels like 75, 8.9 miles per hour in, dies down to 7.2 miles per hour. Petco Park, minus 6%, minus 5% homers, minus 5% doubles and triples, and minus 5% singles. Going to the line history here, we have the Padres at minus 140. They opened up minus 141. They opened up minus 133, so 8 cents of movement towards them. I should have waited another half inning. Let's get to the total here for this one. From a total perspective, we have an 8.5. This opened up in the afternoon at 7.5, heavily juiced, not too heavy, but juiced to the over. Here at 7:05 p.m., it opened up at 8, juiced to the under. So it had moved from 7.5 to 8. And then it got back to 7.5 at 10:49 a.m. Why that's so interesting is this got up to 8.5 at 1:41 p.m. Now we're back at an 8. So even though we've gone down to 7.5 and up to 8.5, we're back exactly where we started, exactly to the cent. So this total is not, you don't want to say not moved. Well, it's the same as the opening line. And then this money line's moved 8 cents towards the San Diego Padres and Dylan Cease. But that's very explainable, when you take a look at Fott's numbers overall. So take a look at the cash flow. Cash flow wise, we have 55% of the tickets on the Padres and 70% of the cash on the Diamondbacks. How do you explain an 8 cent move then towards the Padres if 70% of money is on the Diamondbacks? Then you have 71% of tickets on the under and 87% of cash on the under. At this point, even though I have a vividness bias of Brandon Pfaadt being the best pitcher on the Diamondbacks in the most important baseball games last year, maybe that's a little much, but a top accountable pitcher in the most important spots. He certainly has none of this year. Again, Diamondbacks hitting 247, 757 OPS versus righties last 30 days, while the Padres are 242, 706. And the Diamondbacks bullpen being a tiny bit better than it's been all year, still poor. And the Padres bullpen is very pedestrian. Take it away for us, Mr. Bouquet, Diamondbacks Padres.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of jumped off the bandwagon with Pfaadt. He's just been really bad, and I don't know what to expect from him on a start-to-start basis now. Dylan Cease, a guy kind of expected to get moved this season, but the Padres being so good, they're going to have to keep him on and just let him walk as a free agent. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But I stayed off this game as Padres are nothing for me. Just can't be back in Pfaadt right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess that's the case. A one-time, take it away.
Yeah, looking at this game right here, seeing the D-backs currently sit at a plus 130 here on the money line. I had them open up at a plus 122 yesterday when I first capped this card. Let me see here really quick. Yeah, now they're currently sitting at a plus 130. You got Brandon Pfaadt on the mound. You mentioned him already. I've liked backing him at certain points this season. Dylan Cease, a very disappointing season, but we know how good of his stuff he has. We've seen it in the past, and I'm sure we're going to see it throughout the rest of the season here. It definitely seems like a Padres spot here. I mean, the Diamondbacks, it's just they're sitting here now 2 games under 500. It seems like around this point is when they win 2 or 3 games in a row, get over that 500 point, then lose their 2 or 3 games in a row and get back to this point. That's kind of been their season back and forth around this 500 point. Padres, we know what kind of hot start they had. Been inconsistent at times this season, but they're still got one of the deepest lineups in all of baseball. If you look at this lineup, it's absolutely stacked still. The 1 through 6 is absolutely wild. But with that being said, I would only be on the Padres here in this spot. This is going to be a pass for me. I kind of had a lean towards the Padres here, maybe at a -1 because the minus 143 is just a little bit too expensive for me with Cease on the mound. But that kind of tells me that Cease is going to go out there and pitch well. But we're seeing a total of 8.5 here. What is this first 5 looking at currently? Let's see here. Let me pull this up. Currently, we've got the D-backs sitting at a plus 115 on the first 5. So about a 15 cents difference between the first 5. So they do think that Brandon Pfaadt could maybe outpitch Cease here, or at least go toe-to-toe with him here. Seeing the total at 4, juice the over at minus 114. It's going to be a pass for me. I had leaned towards the Padres here in this spot. It's just, for me, this is when the Diamondbacks start winning a couple games. They never get too much under 500. The manager knows how important it is to keep these pieces in the dugout going into the All-Star break and going into whenever there's going to be trade talks. This team has a good batting order, but I have heard a lot of rumors that they might move some hitters, guys like Gino Suarez. And that's a pretty good bat. He's won them. He's played well for them this season.
Oh my Lord!
What?
Sorry, the White Sox are incompetent, but so is Bo Bichette.
Okay. With that being said, though, I'm going to be off this game entirely. I want to back the Padres maybe on the -1 line here. I kind of wanted to get on the under, but seeing it at an 8.5 right now makes me think that maybe there's going to be runs scored here in this ball game. Maybe Cease gets some help behind him today. So it's going to be a pass for me. I don't want to play this game.
12 games over 500. The Padres are at home against a team that's not bad on the road. They're actually better on the road than they are at home. But you look at Fott's horrific numbers, and you think that did this not open cheap for the Padres?
I think it did open up. I think right now what it's currently priced is probably reasonable. Maybe 145 to maybe -150 is what it should be at. I do think they opened it a little bit too low, though. I do agree with you on that part.
Fernando says, why not the under again? That was my initial thought, but I honestly don't really know if we can trust Fott here. And this total.
Oh my God. The White Sox. Okay. The Blue Jays and the White Sox game is ridiculous.
Yeah, Vladdy's okay. He kind of fell down a little hard there.
Jesus. Like they had an infield fly ball, two guys just looking at each other. They let him drop. Bo Bichette doesn't run. So they get the faster guy out. Great. Then they throw a ball on a pickoff into fucking right field, and Vladdy wants to take the extra base and gets gunned down at third.
We'll take it, Jose, because this should be a 3-0 Toronto ball game. They have 5 hits already and just 1 run. It seems like Hauser's had runners on the bases this entire game, and we're only in inning 3. We've gotten lucky, man. I'm on the under here in this spot. I hope he can still keep getting lucky, but that's what seems like Andrew Hauser, what's happening to him right now.
Thank God.
71% of tickets, 87% of cash on the under, and it goes up to 8.5 before it comes back.
Yeah, that's why it's like, why is it an 8.5? It's so confusing. I would only move towards the over because I'm with you. Initially, I wanted the under. If it was an 8, kind of wanted to see it get juiced to an 8, but now we're seeing 8.5. If this gets to an 8.5, -110 to the under. Right now, it's sitting at a -105. I think that's telling us everything we need to know here. First 5, what is it? Over 4, -115 to the over. Yeah, I think the over could be the play here, actually, in this game. I think that's what the books are telling us because, I would invite more under money with these 2 pitches, but I don't know. It's I don't know. It's a tough spot here. Oh, wait, now we're seeing – what's your book having on this game now, Jim? Now I'm getting back to – now I'm at an 8. 8 -110 both ways.
Yeah, I've got an 8 juice to the under here, but AM saying he's seeing 7.5s now. Wow. Let me refresh here.
It was just an 8.5 a minute ago, and now it's at an 8. So
yeah, and I talked about that. It opened at 7.5 in the afternoon. It opened at 8 at night, but it's still juiced to the under. And then we saw it go up to 8.5, and then back to 8. And then right now, I have, I don't see a single 7.5, but the 8. In fact, the 8. Some of the 8s are at pick'ems, but
yeah,
other 8s are like -105 to the over, -115 to the under. But if this does go to a 7.5 and a legit 7.5, I will go back to I'll go back to the under. AM says ESPN is a 7.5 -120 to the over. There is very interesting thought process around ESPN bet because when everything's at 8, they'll give a 7.5, or when everybody's at 8, they'll give out an 8.5. They'll give you the best line in a certain situation, and they have succeeded there. And Spooner says the ESPN only does the half-run totals, and same with Jacob saying they don't offer pushes. Bookmaker at 7.5 here. I have Bookmaker moving this to 8 5 minutes ago, and the 8's minus 118 to the over. That's what I have at Bookmaker right now. And I have minus 118 to the over 8.
I've got minus 10, 110 both ways. I'm 3 in my books right now.
Okay, yeah, it says okay. Okay, so all right, well, let's roll on. But again, if this starts moving towards like a real, to me, what I believe is legit 7.5, where because ESPN not being an outlier, but if it goes to a legit 7.5, I will be interested in Fought and Cease pitching well the first 3 innings. So we'll see how that bangs out. Let's roll into our last spot on the board. I think once we do a review, I'll be able to make some sense of all this. 10:05 p.m. Eastern with the Atlanta Braves, 39-51, 15-29 on the road at the Athletics, 38-55, 17-29 home at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento, California. Let's get into the weather in Sacramento here. We have, here we go. 92 Fahrenheit, feels like 91, 4.5 miles per hour out to right center. Gets up to 5.4 miles per hour. It's a hot one there. Not ridiculously hot, but when we get into a ballpark pal, we have this as the third most offensive park, plus 15% overall, plus 28% homers, plus 4% doubles and triples, and plus 8% singles. We're sitting here with a 10.5, minus 114 to the over. This opened up minus 104 to the over, so we've had 10 cents of movement towards the over. When we get to the money line here, we have a pick'em, minus 104 each way. Now, the Braves opened up minus 124, so there was a big move towards the Athletics. And, of course, there should be a move towards the Athletics. Jacob beat those lines. Athletics first 5 plus half, minus 130. Athletics money line plus 115. And Athletics first 7 team total over 3.5. Those look like great spots. Spooner says Acuna scratched with back tightness yesterday could be an issue. That is important. Thank you for that, Spooner. So when we get to the money line here, we have, we've done that big move. Sorry, let's get to the cash flow. Here we have 62% of tickets on the over and 76% of cash on the over. It's 53% of tickets on Atlanta and 50% of cash on the A's. Elder has been getting destroyed. And he's coming off 5-1 loss at home versus the Angels. Still allowed 2 home runs and 4 earned runs over 5 innings. 5.92 ERA, 1.52 WHIP. If the Braves had any chance of doing anything, he wouldn't be out there. On the road this year, he's allowed 20 earned runs over 6 starts. Lefties hitting him hard, 262, 836. Righties, 304, 909. Mitch Spence seems to maybe have hit a wall. I know you're in the opportunity to start, but he allowed 3 home. Now, his last start was in another. He's getting all these tough situations, and he was at Georgia, Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, and it was a very tough place to pitch. He allowed 3 home runs and 4 earned runs over 5 innings. On the road this year, he's been okay. At home this year, he's been okay. It's a tough place to pitch. He's allowed 5 home runs over 28 2/3. He's 27 Ks and 11 walks. I guess it's not okay. Lefties are hitting him hard, 310, 898 OPS. Righties, he's getting out. Lefties have been a real problem for him. So that's Matt Olson. Profar is a switch. I don't know. But Baldwin and Harris and Albies is a switch. So it should be 5 batters, hitting him from the left side. Braves are hitting 242, 700 versus righties last 30 days, while the A's are 236, 741. Braves bullpen has been very good. Very good last 30 days. Very good this year. And the A's bullpen has been poor all season long. Wine Time Sports, our last spot on the board, and being a tough board. Braves Athletics, take it away.
Yeah, another spot I moved on last night. I got to get that similar jersey to you, Jim. The Athletics have just been so good to me this season at times this season. I was on them last night. They took care of business. I turned off the game after the 3rd or 4th inning. They just were crushing the ball to start that game. Absolutely love to see that. And and capping this game last night, seeing the Lions, seeing them slight dogs, I was like, wait, isn't that a little bit fishy? I know they have similar records, but the Braves are still the Braves. People still have a bias on them that they're a good ball team. They're not a bad ball team, but I think this line's very telling here in this spot. I think the Athletics are live to take this game. books are telling us they're now sitting at a minus 105, Braves minus 104. They go from a dog to a favorite overnight. Mitch Spence on the mound. I like backing him at times this season. I kind of want to get to the over here as well. It's looking like this is going to get to an 11 here before first pitch, so you might have to move on it now. A 10.5, minus 115 at one of my books, and a minus 120 at another, and minus 120 here as well. So I think this is going to get to 11 before we know it, and I think the Athletics are going to be able to tee off here today once again. I think they're going to be able to score early and often here in this game against Bryce Elder, and they're going to get to that bullpen early. And I think this is going to be a similar game to yesterday. So I'm on the Athletics. I've been taking them at times this season when there's times where you could take this team and have so much value, and then you just look at other games where you're like, they're going to lose this game. Like, come on. But this is a game they're going to win here at home here. I like the Athletics, even at a minus 105, whatever you can get. I'm going to end up being on the over here, I think, in this spot as well. I don't know when I'm going to move on it. Might take some time after the show. It might be too late, and I'll have to take an 11. But as of right now, I'm going to stay away from it. I like the Athletics here in this spot. Still at a minus 105. They're going to win this ball game.
Yeah, it's just a 5-cent difference on the first five over 365. I mean, I understand. TJ says fading the Braves every game before the break. This team's going to ship it in. A's double up again. AM says going to plug my nose and play the Braves here. Braves shouldn't be favored. Now they have had a day to settle into cross-country travel. Jose Bouquet, our final spot on what's become very tricky set of games. Braves Athletics.
Yep, quick and easy. I'm staying off. It's a tricky card, so I battled this game. I was pissed off about the result yesterday, so I stayed off.
Yeah, I have to think that you have a real legitimate advantage just because Spence is so used to this AAA ballpark. And even when he was on the road, he just pitched in a AAA ballpark. I have to think that is an appealing spot, but I will sit with this for longer. Braves Athletics. I would also, with how horrific Elder's numbers are, you would think that at least, there should be a 15-cent difference or something like that on these first five. It's only 5 cents. And then we have this over, and if it's back tightness that Acuna is dealing with, this is a Braves team that's 12 games under 500. He's not going to play today. Will that, when the lineup comes out, will that drop the total a tiny bit?
It could, unless the books already know he's not going to play. I didn't really dig into that. So shout out to Spoons for that update on Acuna. I'm not too sure, but I mean, if he gets announced out, yeah, maybe it doesn't get to quite an 11. Maybe it gets to an 11 before the lineups get posted. He gets announced out, he goes back to a 10.5 juice, maybe. But we'll see. I think I'll wait on that to hear the Acuna. I don't know what I'll do for the total wise, honestly. I feel like I should just move on the over 10.5 here in this spot because I just think the books are telling us even on – it doesn't really – what's ballpark telling you again, Jim, on offensively for
plus 15% overall, plus 28% home runs, plus 4% doubles and triples, and plus 8% singles.
Yeah, I definitely like the over here in this spot, regardless if Acuna is going to play or not. But, I mean, if he gets ruled out, maybe we can get a better 10.5 or maybe even a 10 if it doesn't get to an 11. I guess we'll see and see if anyone else gets ruled out for either team. But, I like backing the Athletics in these kind of spots, and I think this is the perfect spot for him here.
And Deacon is moving on the over 3.5 home runs at plus 115, which makes sense to me. All right, maybe let's do a review of all action, and maybe that will help me get there on a couple spots. Stacks play today, number 1, Mets team total over 5.5. At number 2, Luis Arise over 1.5 bases. Gorky on the Jays on the run line. Scott is on the Mets money line and the Phillies money line. He's also on KC first 5 under 4.5, and this Jays White Sox first 5 under 4.5. Going over to the line history, the live action here, that the first 3 unders would have cashed in both of these first starts. Yeah. We got Pig Milk play today. White Sox first 5 plus a half at minus 125. Spooners on the Jays -1, the Cubbies, the Rangers, the Astros, and the New York Mets. That's Spooners action. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. The spreadsheet play of the day is the Cincinnati Reds. And shout out to our guy, Ronnie Crawford. Troy Torrance here on the Dodgers. Noel on the Dodgers team total over 4.5. So we'll see if the Dodgers can do something here in the top of the fifth. 1 out in the top of the fifth right now. Got on that live over 5.5. It's now at 4.5. Juice to the under. Live betting is not helping me thus far. Let's see if we get that. All right. So both starters looking strong at this point. Wine Time. I'll let Wine Time and Jose review their action. Abbott 5 or more strikeouts at -154 for Kong's Clips. 12 of his last 16 starts, he's gone for 5 or more strikeouts, and that's Kong's best bet of the day. Freebands play of the day is the Dodgers here. Also the Astros for Dougie Wise. Dougie Wise. DC Capper is on the Cardinals, and that was to the warning track, but no doing there for the Dodgers. Then it's for me, there's some possibles, and I'll go into them, but I am going to be on the Twins first 5 and the over in the Cubs Twins game. I know I'm going to be on that. I was very interested in these unders in Nats Cardinals, but Chad Pickard was right to talk about how Mackenzie Gore is being hit by these Cardinals. And I've got to spend a little bit more time with that. Now, the Cards are hitting 216, 618 OPS last 30 days for lefties. You'd figure that Gore would figure it out, but hasn't been able to. And then the Slade Sakoti, Brandon Walter spot. I know Wine Time's on the Guardians, but the first 3 under and the full game under in that one, I'm going to put heavy energy into as soon as this show's over. And then I really want to study the A's and the A's first 5 a little more, but coming off a day where I had 15 bets, I came with 7 and I added 8. It just doesn't seem to be the case here today. But in saying that, this is a week that I historically struggle. The week before All-Star break and the week after All-Star break. So let's hear from you, Wine Time Sports. Please review your MLB action.
Yeah, we came in here with a 7 game card, and I'm going to read it all off to you guys. Currently, we have the White Sox Blue Jays under 8.5 -110. We are on the Miami Marlins +130. We are on the Angels +120. We're on the Guardians +125. A lot of dogs, guys. If you guys have been following me on Twitter, I've been taking a lot of dogs these last couple of days. Athletics +110, Minnesota Twins +100, and the Washington Nationals, who are now a dog. I got them as a favorite last night, -110. Literally 5 of my 7 games are underdogs, and technically the rest of them are because now the Nationals are underdogs, guys. I think we have a lot of value in the card today. I'm excited. I'm not excited when I just retweeted my guy Spoons' action after hearing you say that. We are on 3 opposite sides, so I hate to see that. Hopefully we can even that out there, and there's no sweepage between us, but hopefully we can split it up there. We can have a winning day today, guys. I'm really excited. We had a good show today. Really appreciate, as always, Jimmy, for having me on, man. And be sure to check out Walk Off Wagers every single Sunday, 8 a.m. over here on the West Coast, 11 a.m. over there on the East Coast, guys. Me and my guy Spoons break down the entire MLB card. We've been killing it. We've been love doing it too. Really enjoying it. Really appreciate all the support. Everyone in the chat, man. It means a ton to us. It just seems like we've been getting better every single week, and it's to you guys for showing out and sharing the link with friends and bringing new people in. So we appreciate it. Make sure to always hit the like button with my guy Jim the Bag, my guy Jose Bouquet on Saturdays. Appreciate you guys as always, and I'll see you on Friday, Jimmy and Jose. I'm looking forward to breaking down Friday's action with you guys this week. So good luck on everyone's action today, to you guys and everyone in the chat. Love you guys, and have a good rest of your guys' day.
Wine Time Sports in the house has crossed the 1,000 followers mark. Thank you guys for supporting our friend. If you haven't, please do support our guy Wine Time. I'm gonna pop his X handle in the chat. As selfless as they get, just wants us to beat the books. And we got now runners on the corners here. For those of you on the Dodgers first 5, you have a chance. Here, but Quintana has got to get touched in this next at bat. But certainly a chance now. Please hit that link to X and support our guy Wine Time Sports. Can we get some offense here for the Dodgers? It's tough, a tough spot here. Not. Oh wait, no, not, that was Ruiz hit that, right? So now we have
Outman.
no. Wouldn't we have a? Oh yeah, of course it's Outman before Ohtani. Damn it, not good. For some reason I thought it was Ohtani coming up.
Strike one to Outman.
Yeah, oh, we know what's going to happen. Jose, my friend, please review your action.
Yeah, I'm on the shitty White Sox here. 1 out in the 4th inning. They just cannot get the run across. 1-0. Very frustrating. First 5 I'm on there. I am on the Miami Marlins plus 126. I am on the Minnesota Twins first 5, and I am on the Los Angeles Angels full game money line plus 102. Shout out to the people in the chat. I was so fucking close to moving on PSG against Real Madrid. There was a big market move like 20 minutes before the game. I don't get it in, and Real Madrid don't fucking give a shit about this game because they just shot themselves in the foot twice with horrible defensive mistakes. It's already 2-0. So shout out to you PSG bettors. It was a great look, but those are my actions.
1-1 now, 1-1 now, and Jay's White Sox.
Speak it into existence. Thank you, Billy Friedrich. Thank you for your role in getting that run. But yeah, I got killed yesterday in baseball. The WNBA even fucked me a little bit too. So I really would. I need a bounce back day here. We've hemorrhaged. You were up 10 units at one point. Now we're down 4. So got to bounce back here. Have to control the bleeding and has to start today. So let's do it.
We believe in you, Jose, my friend. We also have a WNBA popping off in 2 minutes here for Lynx Mercury.
Girl ball is fucking killing us, Jimmy. Girl ball hurts us.
Oh, yes, it has.
God,
not succeeding yesterday was as angry as. I mean, yeah, you have Ionescu. She clears her point prop by 10, but can't hit a 3 to save her life. And then I missed the over by a half point. Stewie missed. Oh, he didn't go. So that means bases are juiced with Ohtani up? Or was that?
Let me tell you.
Bases are juiced with Ohtani up.
Yeah, I didn't go.
Okay,
So
let's get that Dodgers first 5 and get everything going. Ohtani, nowhere to put him. I don't think he went. Do you think he went on that?
I don't think he went. I didn't see the side view, but
I just saw the side view. I need to see it again. I kind of only caught the second half of it. Oh, wow, that's exciting. Okay, we got some excitement here. Oh, TJ said the ump had his eyes shut. Let me see it again. They're all pissed off. The Brewers are all pissed off. That's huge. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. The Brewers bullpen doesn't like it. I'll tell you that. Brewers bullpen saw it again, throws their arms up. 2 guys on. Eric Lauer finally starting to capitulate a little bit. It seems like it's always the 4th and 5th inning where the runs are coming. So that makes a whole lot of sense second time through.
So for our live bettors here in this Lynx Mercury spot, the Mercury are on the first half of a back-to-back. They have another camp day game tomorrow. If the Lynx dominate the first quarter, which is something that JW thought, I'm going to look to live bet the Mercury after the first quarter. Now, that's if the Lynx take care of business here in the first quarter. I'm going to look to live bet. Okay, 1-0 count. We got to stay here for this, man. Shohei Ohtani up bat, 1-0 count. Bases juiced. Quintana at the plate.
91 up, so should be interesting to see what he gets next.
Ohtani looks poised.
While you're watching that, I'm dealing with fucking Edmundo Sosa with the White Sox. I have no idea who this man is. Just get a run for us. Scratch something for us, Sosa.
It is 2-0 count to Shohei.
Oh, my God. I thought you were going to tell me it's 2-1. No, Jimmy. Ah. God.
2-0 count to Shohei Ohtani.
By the way, I see DeAndre Ayton on my TV.
3-0 count to Shohei Ohtani with the bases juice. What do you do here?
Good. You don't swing.
Does he? Okay, you got Means in the bullpen. Do you just put him on?
Base hit. Yes, that better score. That better score. Yes, sir. White Sox. Billy. You and me, Billy. 2-1 here. Come on. Let's turn something around, huh?
All right. It is 1-0 Dodgers. Even that was probably a strike. 1-0 Dodgers, and the bases continue to be juiced.
Yeah,
2-1 White Sox. That first 5, beautiful. I mean, you guys understood the market perfectly. I just fear fading. Oh, look at this.
We have a Mundo. We have boot bets coming up here for him as well.
Oh, he's losing it. He's about to get bounced, man. Oh, he's an angry old man. Okay.
I imagine your father looks like
terrible.
I imagine your father looks a lot like that, just tighter skin.
No, it doesn't look like that at all. Doesn't look like that at all.
Wow, Mookie first pitch fly out. What a fucking disgust bucket that is.
You had him on the ropes.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But for those of you that did move on the Dodgers first 5, you have a chance. All right. Thank you guys so much for all that you do for Deacon Mike, Justin McKelvey, TJ, Kelly McInnes, AM, JR, Swish.
What a turn that would be if your father actually was Deacon Mike this whole time. What a turn that would be.
Billy Friedrich, a Redbeard, the chillest, Wine Time. What a great group. AM, Mally, Mal. Thank you guys. The aforementioned Deacon Mike, a Coin, Swiggy, Top Set, Fernando Mendoza, Beavis, a DC Capper. Thank you guys so much. Jason Meyer, the El Dorado Custodian, Nasty Nate, Rem Most, Sports Scientist Jacob, the Wager Detective, a Big Daddy Boom. Thank you guys so much for all that you do. I really struggled with this card far more than I thought I was, but now is the winter of our discontent. I'm going to sit and hammer this fucking
Where is
card.
that from?
Macbeth.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've heard that before.
Yeah. I'm going to go hammer this card here heavy. Thank you guys. Jose, my friend, wonderful to cap with you. Thank you for all that you do for us. Let's go out there and get that cash. Jose, could you please bless our action and lead us into the future?
Yep, it's going to be fun here. I'm kind of scrambled right now, brain-wise. I need to eat. It's 2:00 here. Need to eat, get some vitamins in me, and figure out what the fuck am I going to do with myself tomorrow and today here with this card. It's going to be a lot of fun here. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Deacon, Nasty Nate, all you guys. We appreciate you guys. Become a member if you're not already. $4.99 a month, $9.99 a month for gold membership, and you can be a part of our horse races, which are back again tomorrow. So till then, let's go. Leche, los bookmakers.